We're up. Good evening, everybody. We'll just wait and see how much the lag is between StreamYard and YouTube. I haven't gone up here yet.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Ah, there we go. About 20 seconds on mine. Nice. Well, good evening, everybody. Dale, God bless. Bloody hell. You shit the bed, boy. Lost Souls, Desert Fox, Moo, Stitch, Holly, obviously. Always welcome. Jenny, lurking in the background there, making a tea. How are we all tonight? All saying hello to each other. Well, it's been a busy week again so far, and lots of news, a lot of it not important. But one or two bits I've picked out to go through, as it were. You know what I'm like. Stuart, good evening, mate. Hope you're well. And there's me saying I wasn't going to vape tonight, but I'll have a puff, see how far we go. But I am a little bit knackered today. I had the lights of, well, I'll call it a lawn. It looks a bit like one now, but it was a fucking paddock earlier. And trying to cut wet grass with a domestic mower that's nearly, well, over a foot long in places wasn't an easy chore. Good evening, Karen. As probably a lot of you have noticed, I've been more active on Facebook than YouTube today. Now I've got some in my mouth. Don't know what that is. But obviously, we've got the lovely Mrs. W in the background there. She will fact check me on anything.
You're wrong.
Back and forth because I'm cooking. No worries, Holly. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You're not.
Oh, you're always wrong.
Oh, okay.
You reckon you're always right, but I reckon you're always wrong.
Oh, that's a good way to start the stream, isn't it? Mm. Oh, that's what's going on there. See, somebody put Scargies in there. Hello, Scargies. I haven't seen your name come up.
Moo Stitch Scar.
Ah.
I said you'd missed it. You didn't listen to me.
Oh, yeah. Kapla.
Kapla.
Kapla. It's a good day to die. But yeah.
Vulcan tonight. Vulcan.
Klingon
tonight.
Sorry, Scar. I didn't see your name come up there, mate. It's if I'm looking at the camera with my eyes, I can't see the comments. If I mix to that screen, I can see the comments, but not all of them.
You're blind as a bat.
And yeah, I'm as blind as a bat, basically. Especially if I take them off, I'm absolutely in the dark there. Even the text from this distance is just a blur. Desert Fox, Francis Scott. Oh, yes, sweetheart. Yeah, some of the news today. Well, obviously, we'll get on to Sunak's idea in a minute. Gary, good evening, mate. But bit of an interesting one coming out with Diane Abbott, isn't it? Patriot, good evening, mate. Yeah, I mean, Starmer's saying she isn't blocked from running. She's the one that's saying it. Now, knowing what a drama queen she is, I mean, personally, I wouldn't let the bitch in there anyway. She's a perpetual victim.
Oh, no, she's not.
No, she's not. Yeah. She calls everybody that actually opens their mouth a fucking racist. Well, a lot of the times being racist herself. And I'm not being racist when I say this. I believe she gives coloured people a bad name. She's How she's lasted this long, I don't know. Lodger, good evening. Dale. I think I said good evening to Dale.
They can't get rid of her
Fun.
because she's black.
Yeah.
Because that would be
She'll call
racial
fucking racist
discrimination.
again. I mean, the woman can't string a legible sentence together.
Oh, God.
We know she can't fucking count. I mean, she's just one of them pointless entities that's there, I think, just to stir up trouble. Yeah, exactly, Scar. She's as thick as two short fucking planks. She really is. And she's done more harm to Labour than anything. But there again, when you look at some of the things that Starmer is saying to where he's been in the past, yeah, he can't be trusted either, can he? Yeah, we will stop the Rwanda deal. We'll stop that plan straight away. Yeah. We will stop the boats anyway. Yeah. Don't forget in 2003, this is the arsehole that stood up in court and brought a case against Labour saying you must pay immigrants benefits. People seem to have forgotten that. But there you go. And he did win the case. And this is why now the immigrants, I'll call them, can get benefits because of that twat. Just goes to show. Now, they kept on, this has been going on for a while, that they want a face-to-face debate between him and Roland. And as he rightly said, well, all Roland's going to do is keep repeating what he's already said. And as I've said, everything he's done, he's fucking failed at. And I believe everything that these harebrained ideas he's coming up with now will fail. And don't forget, Starmer, who was it? Put up a video earlier with a clip in it. Rotten Politics, who quite often drops in here. If you're out there watching Rotten, good evening, mate. He actually put a clip in there where Starmer openly admitted, without even thinking about it, that he would take the WEF over our government anytime. So what does that tell you? And we know it'd take us back into Europe, and the way Roland's talking, he would want us to go back into Europe. Forgetting, of course, that the Conservatives only got voted in because people wanted out of the EU. I rest my case on that. But, yeah, it's... It's called the thickest move.
And unfortunately, when you call them stupid and they're black, that's racist.
That's racist, apparently.
You can call me stupid because I'm white, but you can't call a black person stupid. It's racist.
Yeah. Well, you can only be racist if you're English and fucking white, isn't it? Basically. And yeah, unbelievable what's going on with her. I mean, are people waking up? I don't know. I mean, was it today? Again, a diverse person, First Minister of the Welsh Government. Apparently, there's a vote of no confidence going in on him now, and he's only been in there a few weeks. Yeah, Patrick, I can actually remember seeing her a picture where she turned up in the house with odd shoes on, using that footism. Jimmy's, good evening, bud. Gary, by the way, Francis is a lady before you go any further with that. So it's Dame. Miss ya. Yeah, how you doing, Jimmy's? Yeah, it's been one of them weeks. I mean, I have been watching some of what's being said, but to be honest, as I say, Roland's just going back over old ground. Good evening, Steve. And he's still bleating on about stuff that they have done when he hasn't done fuck all. She should just give us a bit of entertainment, Lodger. Just drag her out screaming and hollering. Sorry about the roughness in my chest today, people. I've been doing a bit of exercise out in the garden there, working, and it hasn't calmed down too well. Oh, there's the furry assassin.
I'm going to ignore Steve's insults.
Who was that? I thought you were from the Black Cat. Oh, no, she's definitely not a yam, Steve.
I'm Birmingham.
Actual Birmingham. Dr. Kersey, good evening. But yeah, I mean, I did the video on Roland's idea about this national service shit. Looked a bit more into it now, but I haven't changed my mind on it. I mean, for a start, this is going to cost us upwards of $2 billion to set up. Well, surely that $2 billion would be better spent on the NHS and give the doctors their pay rise. Let's stop them striking. That'll help the NHS a lot. But how's it going to work? Well, I said in my video that the 18s and over would be basically conscripted into the army. Nothing voluntary about it. There will be repercussions if you don't volunteer. Resist. Good evening, mate. Yeah, you know, there will be punishments for not doing it. Now, I originally thought that the civil service side of it, shall we say, the public services more like, was for 16 and upwards, so it would have been aimed at school leavers. Apparently not. He's now talking about 14 and up, which to me basically seems he's trying to stop them going anywhere else and learning anything else straight from school. So they're going to continue the indoctrination after they leave school.
They've got to stay in school till they're 16.
Yes, that's what I mean.
If they haven't got a job.
Well, they can leave at 16, whether they got a job or not. But Rob W., good evening. Don't be sorry for being late, mate. No, but nobody's under any pressure to actually be in here at all. See how many leave because of that statement.
Silly video games are good, though, Rob.
But yeah, to me, it's. I mean, we know a lot of forces personnel are leaving. I know for a fact that a lot have put their paperwork in to leave. Morale in the forces is at an all-time low, which I understand. I know a lot of veterans, and I do know people that are still serving. And they're saying that, you know, we don't want to be deployed anywhere because every time we do, we get accused of fucking war crimes, and some of us even end up in court. You made me miss the archers. So, you know, but what are these people going to do that they're going to apply? Like I said, you know, half of them can't even decide what fucking gender they are. You know, it's not going to be slop jockey putting the grub on a plate in front of you because there's going to be fucking vegans and all sorts of shit in there. Graham, good evening, buddy. Pardon me. Jesus, where did that come from? And personally, I don't think it'll work. And the sort of people they're going to get taken up in this military thing, well, you've only got to look at the ones that took up the offer of becoming police officers, haven't you? And the woke little assholes they turned out to be. Yeah. Like I put the clip up, service guarantees citizenship from Starship Troopers. Does this mean they're going to offer citizenship to any of the, can we call them, diverse visitors to this country? Are they going to get them to sign up with the offer of citizenship? Just a thought. And the younger ones doing jobs like helping pensioners, whatever they do in public, gardening, planting trees. Someone come up the other day, well, why not get them working on the farms? Well, don't forget, these are kids of 14 years old and upwards. So they can only work a certain amount of hours. If they get paid for it, they can only get paid a certain amount under the employment of miners' laws. And I don't mean underground miners, I mean little people. And I don't mean dwarfs by that either. Otherwise, that's discrimination, apparently. But personally, I can't see it happening. It's all flannel and all bullshit. And he thinks he's gaining votes, especially the youngsters. But I think coming out with that shit, he's actually going to lose votes. We'll have kids back up the chimneys soon. It's like cleaning out the gas flues. Yeah, exactly, Graham, the YTS schemes. They were abused, they were used, they were underpaid. And the thing is, youngsters today don't know the value of money. I mean, you got a 12-year-old with £1,000 fucking iPhone. They break it. Oh, Mum, can I have a new one? Yeah, son, I got £1,000 here. I'll go and buy you a new one, No, Scott, I don't think he will. I honestly think none of the smaller parties are going to be in. The Lib Dems might give him a bit of a run. But I seriously think, even with the lie-in and people knowing what he's like, I think people are going to give Labour a go. Because they're just fed up with it now. Yes, Holly, exactly. It's a throwaway society, and not just in this country. Everything in society now is disposable, including us, if you listen to the way the government go on. Yes, Francis, and that's what killed and put the prices up a lot of the building trades. I used to do roofing and building maintenance work, and people used to say, well, we can't pay that money for that amount of work. I said, well, that's what it cost us to do the job, because we've got to jump through hoops. You can't just get a ticket and put your scaffold up now. It all has to be checked. Everything is about health and safety.
Well, a little job, you run up a ladder, fix it, and come back down.
Yeah, you can't now.
You can't do that.
No. You got to have a scaffold tower or proper scaffold just to replace a slate in your roof if it's blown off. Now, I can remember many years, I've replaced hundreds of slates down in Cornwall over the years. You'd be up a ladder. Your oppo would be at the bottom foot in the ladder. You'd push a cat ladder over the ridge, hook it over, walk up that and replace the slate. You were down in 5 minutes. Now you've got to wait a day for scaffold, then you've got to wait a day for it to be checked out if they can get an appointment before you can even go up there. Yes, Holly, relationships absolutely can be disposable nowadays. I mean, that's what a lot of these sites are on the internet, isn't it? To avoid relationships. You want a portion, you go on there, chat to a woman, she wants a portion, you're willing to give one, boom, you're away for the night. Yes, Lodger. To be honest, when I was a kid, if you weren't at home on a Sunday dinner time to sit down with the family, you didn't get a dinner. It wouldn't be kept for you. It'd be gone. And you'd go without. I can remember them days. The same as if you didn't eat your dinner or complained about it, it would be put in front of you the next day until you did eat it. Yeah, days of old. So, yeah, Ollie, I mean, me and Heather come from a different era on the dating and relationships things, and it did work a bit different back in the day, but it worked. But even back then, I mean, a lot of people did get married for the wrong reason. I certainly did. My girlfriend at the time came off the pill without telling me and fell pregnant, and under family pressure, I married the girl. And when she did it again a few years later, I'm like, no, we haven't got a relationship because I can't trust you. And I won't be in a relationship with someone I can't trust. And that day, that relationship ended. Took a few years for the divorce to come through, but that relationship ended that day. Doesn't allow me to highlight.
No, phones don't, Graham. Gary? My phone doesn't either, Graham. Computers will.
What?
His phone doesn't allow him to highlight to a specific sub. When you put at, you've still got to type it all in.
Oh, well, I never used to have that problem on other people's streams.
When have you ever been on a phone?
Oh, yeah, I never used the phone. I don't use my phones on the internet.
That's why I've started using my laptop, because it's easier to...
In fact, the one I do connect to Wi-Fi, it won't accept YouTube anyway. Vicky, good evening, mate. How you doing, buddy? But oh yes, anybody out there claiming benefits? Well, apparently they're going to be changing next month as well.
Certain ones.
I'll get to that in a minute. The ones that are classed as legacy benefits will actually be come under universal credit. Now, let's see if I can get this up, because I did actually screenshot the bit I found on it. Where is it? Where's it fucking gone? Why isn't it showing? Oh. It won't let me share it for some reason. Right, let's try again. Present. Share screen. It won't let me fucking show it for some reason. Why not? Ah, because I've got other windows open. Okay, right, we'll go without that, and I'll have to read it. Make sure you share on... Well, it won't let me share anyway, because it's just coming up as a fucking black screen. But the DWP have said next month you will receive a migration notice. After a 3-month period after receiving that notice, you'll have 3 months to actually apply for universal credit. It's not going to be an automatic switch over. Stream, come on, at YouTube. Yeah, not a problem, Gary. There's a lot of that going on, mate. The main ones that are going to be fucked around with are working tax credit and child tax credits, housing benefits, which is probably a big one for a lot of people, income support. Some people are still on income support rather than universal credit still. Income-based job seekers allowance, and also income-related employment and support allowances. There's no actual date. It just says June, and there will be no tax credits paid whatsoever for 2025. So that's one to look out for. And that's all happening next month, and it is all happening before the general election. Yep, Francis, that every benefit, what they call a legacy benefit, will be switched over to universal credit, and it will be up to you, the individual, to apply for universal credit. It did say a bit in there that it will not change anything to do with PIP, but as we know, PIP is going to be changing anyway. Can I say that again, please? It means I've got to find it. So I've got several windows open. The following benefits are ending and being replaced by universal credit. Tax credits, working tax credit and child tax credit, housing benefits, income support, income-based job seekers allowance, known as JSA, and income-related employment and support allowance, ESA. Most people that have applied for benefits in the last year or two, or probably even longer, will automatically be on universal credit anyway. So,
and the right type of housing benefit and
yeah. What they're doing is they're trying to centralise everything. How they intend to save money through that, I don't know, because they won't get rid of anybody from the benefits departments. I wouldn't have thought they'll just be moved into other things. I'm just trying to think what else.
But can you just say you will get notified?
Yes, they will send out a notification. I said that right at the beginning of it.
Yeah, just keep saying it.
Sorry, I can't see the chat when I had that up. I wasn't looking over there. Need to be in touch. No, anyone on all the benefits need to be in touch sooner than that. Yeah, as soon as you get the notice, Gary, what they're saying is you've got to apply for universal credit. So you'll have to jump through the usual hoops to get everything put onto that.
But you can't do it till you get your notification.
Yeah. Don't trust the postman. Well, actually, Gary, we've got to trust the postman on the election because the date he's called it for, we're actually on holiday. So we're going to have to do a postal vote. You're all good, Gary. All post lady, yeah. You got to be explicit nowadays, I mean. Not talk to you. Yeah, you're very, very lucky if you get to talk to them, Francis. It's done through an account over the internet where it doesn't have to be email, but they will. You have to set up an account with them, and everything goes through that. Yeah, it's probably all to do with the central banking move. So all the payments are coming out of one department rather than several departments. They'll probably come up with the excuse it's to clamp down on fraud. Apparently, that's how Roland's going to pay for this national service shit, is by money they recuperate from benefit fraud. Well, that's a paltry sum because all the big players that get millions and millions through defrauding the system, even if they go to jail, they're not gonna say where the money is or pay any of it back, are they? I mean, for a start, if they want to look into fraud and reclaiming money from that, as I've said before, let's start investigating the likes of fucking Mac Hancock. Well, and Sunak himself, to be honest. I mean, he was the twat that signed all the checks during the PPE scandals, wasn't he? I mean, and that is billions. That's not a paltry sum that went missing there. Everybody was having a go at Baroness Moan over, I think it was 10 million payment to a bank. Well, it was a lot bigger than that because there were several other companies involved through her husband, and apparently it was well over 50 million. That 10 million was only what her and her husband ended up with. But there was a lot more than that involved. Wank cock dance. Yeah, sure. My cousin, he told me a few truths about the post office. He worked for them for 30 years. And he got kicked out under some very, very strange circumstances surrounding the unions and that as well. But this is another thing with the news that was released today. Roland stands up there. Business in this country, the money in this country should go to businesses in this country. And look who the front runner is to buy out Royal Mail, a Czechoslovakian billionaire. Now, you telling me any profit he makes and the money he makes is going to stay in this country? Is it fuck? There'd be enough money in this country if they shut the... I presume that was meant to be borders there, Francis. Yes. I mean, we're spending now... if it's not actually reached the figure, it could well be over it, but it's around 10 million a day that the government is spending keeping these illegals here. The check will bounce. Yeah, I presume that's what you were trying to say, Francis.
But how many millionaires have we got in this country? The moment people start to make money, they move abroad.
Well, yeah, the only millionaires that are actually resident here are the fuckers that are in Parliament. Yeah, it's not a job I ever fancied, Stuart. To be honest, I'm more... I was more into the building and that sort of work.
That's because you get lost.
Well, yeah, there is that.
You have no sense of direction.
Labour supporters have been caught with postal fraud and jailed. Again. Yeah, there's been a few videos on YouTube lately, Lodger, of people that are supposed to have had notification that they've had something delivered, and the Ring doorbell footage clearly shows that no, they haven't. But that sort of thing just isn't in one area. That covers the whole of the country, and I believe that's the people that actually work for them. But then you think, they keep saying the economy's on the up here. Well, I've never actually seen any proof. All we've got is their word for it. And I don't take any politician's word for anything, because as soon as they open their mouth, they're lying about something. All right, let's get that out of the way. But yeah, I wouldn't trust a politician as far as I could throw the little twats. Oh, pardon me.
No.
But yeah, I mean, we knew the benefits were going to change. We know no matter who gets in power, they're going to want to claw back money because they want to pay us less. Yeah, exactly, Gary. Exactly. Now, I used to be a big supporter of a cancer charity for many years. But with all the shit going on around cancers and that now, I don't bother. And this was another thing he brought up today about these kids doing their service. Now, this is very worrying, that they could be placed with the RNLI, which is a voluntary service, as we know. So does that mean they're going to have to work for nothing as volunteers in that? Is this because they want to put more boats in the channel to help the fuckers come across? Just a thought. Yes, I can remember those, Holly. The morning and the afternoon. Second class was always in the afternoon post. I'll tell you what, Karen, you saying that V for Vendetta. That's what it needs. It needs everybody to stand up together. And as I've said many a time, it won't happen, unfortunately. Yeah, well, that don't worry me, Graham. I'm teetotal. The only time I ever spend anything on alcohol is if I buy Mrs. W a bottle.
I'm still waiting.
You're still waiting.
Well, you didn't go and buy me a birthday present, did you?
No. Thank you for reminding me.
Because it was raining.
Yeah. Yes, they do use the donations, Lodger. I said this last year. We always used to give to the RNLI. I always did before anyway, because obviously being an ex-fisherman working on the boats, yeah, they used to provide a good service. Now, I can't blame the ones up north on the East Coast where we go, but I do know that a lot of the money that is given, all donation points, a lot of it will be funneled towards the East Coast. And it's not right that they're used for that. I mean, they say that they can't turn them back because it's not safe to do so. But they'll sit there and watch the French Navy escort them to halfway across. So why aren't they calling for the French Navy to be taken to an international court of some description, saying that they're endangering these people by not picking them up? Yeah, well, that's where the money is, Stuart, in the parcels. And we've seen the hash they make of that now. Hellfire missiles. Yeah, that'll stop them coming. Especially if we aimed a few at the French as well. Yeah, Lodger, it depends on the conditions. If the French Navy say, oh, they're in difficulties, yes, they will cross the middle. They will cross international water boundaries and get into French waters. But it just seems strange to me, and it pisses me off, that when one does get into difficulty on the French side of the channel, it's our lot that has to go and pick them up, not the French.
Because the French don't want them.
Well, of course they don't.
Take them back.
Of course, no one in Europe wants them. That's why they're sending them and giving them everything to come this way.
Yes.
You know, I've been saying this for the last 2-3 years.
Yes.
If you're racial by French, you get a big bill. Yes. Good evening, Russell, by the way. You used to get a bill here if you called an ambulance, believe it or not. I can remember that many years ago. Having a motorcycle accident and getting a bill for 30 odd quid for the ambulance turning up, which I promptly told them to go fuck themselves because it wasn't me that called it. I didn't ask for their service, somebody else did, so whoever called them, I said it's up to them to fucking pay, nothing to do with me. And that was the last I heard of it.
It tends to go through the insurance.
Not back then, it didn't.
It did.
Oh,
Mine did.
Well, I'd never had anything like that.
Mine did.
Well, to be honest, Scar, our lot, the only time they turn out is when they're asked to. You know, they can't see everything that's going on out there. Yeah, I mean, it's pointless dealing with the French. We know how much they've been given over the last few years. And it's over 100 million now. And we've got nothing back for it. We keep hearing that they're working their way through the smugglers and shit like that. Well, they're still coming. And in record numbers. Good evening, Phil. This is how we can debunk fucking Roland saying we've stopped the boats. We're stopping the boats. No, you're not. We've got record numbers again coming. And the day he announced the election date and said we're stopping the boats. Funny enough, that day there was, I think it was 3 boats were landed or emptied and brought across. Yes, we are giving away, well, we're not. The government are giving away this country. We haven't got much of it left of our own anyway. Oh, the French have never forgiven us for anything, Scar, let alone Agincourt. You know, they've always been a nation of collaborators, a bit like the Italians. Yeah, and he's losing the plot, Graham, I think. He's coming out with all these fucking ideas, and he's got no idea how it's going to be implemented, what the repercussions are. They don't think of what their actions actually cause. I mean, we've seen that during the pandemic. You know, when they were advised not to do something, they went ahead with it anyway. I mean, we pay part towards the fire surface here, Karen, because that's in on the council tax. Same with the police. And I don't believe we should be paying twice, which we are. Now, to be honest, the fire brigade, I don't mind paying a bit for that bit of security. But what I do object to is any tax dollars or tax pounds paying for the police and then charging us again for it through council tax. All right, Kipper Sniffer. No. Yeah, it is a way of punishment for Brexit, but this was going on way before Brexit. And hardly. To pay. The fire brigade don't, but if I see them going around with a donation box, I would give to those. You know, you're very, very unlucky if you ever need them in your lifetime. I suppose the biggest interaction most people have with them is car accidents. You know, if you've got a house fire, it is very, very rare occasion, although it's always in the news by the looks of it, but it is a rare occasion. But they're always there. They turn up. Unlike the police, obviously. No, we don't get any bills here from them. I've never heard of that in this country. Speaker's Corner is gone, Francis. Absolutely gone. It was the bastion of free speech in this country. And even the police now, they're letting every fucking religion and every joker up there have their say unless you're a Christian. Yeah, I used to go in daily, Lodger, with Tracy. So I used to monitor the live shipping radar so I could see exactly what was going on out there. If they were only listening to the radio and they didn't have anybody looking at the radar, then I used to be able to tell them what was going on. And I was on there every day. Yeah, TW Lodge, yeah, Tracy. Yeah, it did get a bit fucked up there when other people were starting to get involved. I won't say it was a bad thing, but because I quite liked Active when he was about, but he was getting them a bad name down there. You know, Tracy was always polite with Border Force. She more or less got what she wanted and was allowed to go where she wanted. But when a lot of others started getting involved, that was just shut straight down. Oh, the police are well tiered, Graham. I mean, last night proved one thing to me. Now, for those that haven't seen the reports today, there was a bit of trouble at a protest. Apparently, there was thousands at this protest, which finished on the time it was supposed to have finished. It was, a registered protest. Good evening, Ibu. But they said that 50 that hung on back into darkness. Well, no, it was a few hundred. And the police started pushing them about because there wasn't a big crowd. They felt a bit more braver. And a few of the coppers got hurt. Well, we've been telling them for fucking months that these people aren't safe. They're chanting for terrorist organisations, which were illegal anyway. The police themselves have allowed it to happen and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, as far as I'm concerned, they go fuck themselves. They bring everything on themselves. Yeah, somebody said there was upwards of 8,000 there originally, Lodger. But yeah, I did hear 500 that stayed on. And of course, they said, that's the troublesome fraction of them. Yeah, it's good. Sunak has put everything in place and said, it's a deterrent, but it's not. and all the interviews they've given with the immigrants, it's blatantly obvious they're crisis actors. Absolutely blatant. So it's all propaganda, as we know. We've known right from the start Rwanda wouldn't work. Right at the beginning, Rwanda said they couldn't handle more than a few hundreds. So, hello, I got an alert from somewhere there. What's that about?
You've gone live.
Well, that's the only thing I can see.
Somebody messaging you on Facebook?
No, it can't be. I haven't got Facebook open. Oh, I have. That's unusual. I must have forgot to shut it. No, that's not an audible alert, so I wouldn't have got that. This is what happens when I start getting confused, when I have too much open. Yeah, that's the problem, Stuart. You know, and that's exactly what I said. It's like any of these big charitable organisations. You can give the money over thinking that it's going to go to your local area, but it's not. It goes into a central pot, as you say, and the powers that be inside those organisations decide where it's going to go.
And it goes to where they want to spend it.
Be interesting to see how much the illegal immigrants are sending back home to wives and children. Well, Kipper, there was one. This is in Ireland, mine, Southern Ireland. He was a genuine immigrant. He came out of one of the tent cities and what have you that they've got there, saying how many £1,000 it cost him to get across Europe, how many £1,000 it took him to get on the boats. Him and his mate paid £2,000 to get on a cruise to go to Ireland, because obviously they can't get tickets with no passports and that across. But what they did, they booked on a cruise leaving this country that stopped in Ireland, and they skipped boat. All they had to do was keep away from the checks as they embarked on the boat here. Evening, loafer. And that was how we got into Ireland. And it worked out that they'd spent, I think it was nearly £9,000 overall getting to Ireland. But he said, I've only got 10 grand left now. What does that tell you? These are poor people from a war-torn fucking country that are in fear of their life. But that one started out with upwards of 20 grand by the sounds of it. That Kiffer, I can kind of believe, because G4S, Serco, and a lot of other security firms have been making big, big money out of all this. Yes, Karen, it was in Dublin. I've got relations in Dean's Grange in Dublin, which is literally 3-4 miles from Dunlara. And the thing is, Loaf said they'd make off like bandits either way. And a lot of these security firms are providing false paperwork, false security licenses, SIA and that, and have got immigrants working on security. I mean, you've only got to look at the state of the security and some of the hotels that people visit with cameras. It's blatantly obvious. They're some of the residents, you know, yet they've got an SIA badge. Yeah, that's it, Graham. If it's legal, it's going to cost slightly less. How do I divorce my brother? Yeah, Care for Calais, groups like this. You go and ask them, would you put an immigrant up in your home? No, no.
Haven't got room.
Haven't got room. We can't do it because of this. Can't do it because we got kids. Well, stop fucking paying for the bastards to come and stay because we have to put them up, even though people don't want to. People are being forced to. No, it's not isolated, Stuart. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and a lot of it is more or less impossible to find out. Well, there is a list, Scar. I can't remember who posted it now, but somebody has posted a list of all the hotels that have been housing them. So if anybody wants to blacklist them, say, no, we're not staying there, don't book with them because they used to have the immigrants in, that there is a list out there. And I say big up to the ones like the Tintagel Hotel that flatly refused to sell their souls to keep them. And the thing is, the hotels that have been emptied of them, because, Roland, we're going to empty the hotels. Yes, they've been taking a lot out of the hotels, but they've been putting them in camps, so they're not removing them. A lot of those hotels have been housing them for maybe a year, 2 years, but it was a 5-year contract, paid for up front in millions. Or was he bollocks, Loafer? He jumped on the bandwagon when he realised and he saw some footage of what Tracy and the guys were doing down in Dover. And him actually getting on that fucking fishing boat and going out into the channel was what got other people banned, and the fishermen got told they would have their licenses removed if they took any press or photographers out there to film them. He's a player. If you told him it was a good thing to go and take one off the arse from these people, he'd probably go and do it just to say he's seen it. I wouldn't trust that twat as far as I could piss, I tell you. He uses other people, he uses their ideas, he uses their speech. And as I say, he was the one that jumped on the bandwagon after he realised what Tracy was putting out. Up until then, even the mainstream media weren't interested in it. They very, very rarely covered any of it, obviously, because the government were trying to hide it. Why do you think he won't run? He doesn't want to run. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just outspoken and he don't give a fuck what he says. It will get him into trouble. I can believe that, Scar. Oh, of course, yeah, you're only over in Cov, aren't you? You're not far from us. I believe there's big areas in Birmingham are the same, but I don't go down into the city anymore. The last time I went was a few years back when I was getting over my bypass, and that was only to go to college.
Have a wander around B&M at some point.
Yeah. Darren Grimes, TV News. Yeah, and this was a thing, Loafer. You had a lot of big internet channels that people were actually following, and it's the same as the auditors did a while back. They all started falling out with each other, and rather than concentrating on what they were doing, they were too busy slagging each other off. And a lot of the channels suffered from that. This is why I don't slag them off on here. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels, and some of them fucking big ones, that I just can't be bothered with. And the bigger you are, the more of these people you attract. All right, Graham, no worries, mate. You take it easy, buddy. Get some rest. Thank you for dropping in. I know you never stay long, but
Good to see you.
it's always good to see Graham in the chat. For those that I've been asking during the week, Dan Pap, he's absolutely fine. As he said himself the other week on the live that he did manage to get out, he is concentrating more on his mum and dad at the moment about other than what goes on the internet. He does watch a bit now and again, but that's what takes up a lot of his time, which rightly so. You know, doesn't matter how big a channel you got, you know, your family have got to come first. And quite frankly, if I was needed, then I would cut down on this in favour of looking after the family. Why do families always want to ruin your life? Well, my immediate family, not the family I've got here, but my own family back home, I didn't really give them a chance to ruin my life. I could see the way it was going, so I fucked off when I could. You just have big problems in mental health, Gary. Unfortunately, I'm no expert on that. I won't say I haven't got mental health issues. People will point out that I have and have had for many years, but not as bad as what a lot of people have got. What else? Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Rowley, the asshole that's running the Met. Now, he was bleating and moaning a week ago that they couldn't handle the protests, that they didn't have enough power to deal with these protests. And, of course, he blamed the government. Well, the power that was handed to them, in fact, let's see. We'll try this again, see if this one works. I very much doubt it with the amount of windows I've got open, but let's try anyway.
By the way, you misread Gary's post. Comment.
Did I?
It
Sorry.
was his mental brother.
Oh. Right. Is that no, that's still not coming up. What the fuck? Why is it not allowing me to share that? Is it? Ah, there we go. Right, that was Mark Rowley's letter, or statement, shall I say, basically blaming the government, operational costs, the reason they can't stop protests. Well, with the amount of powers that prick has got, he can stop protests. He can stop them before they even start. He has that power. But he's saying they can't. But
well, they can't object to the protest happening because that's racist.
Yeah. I mean, he come out and he was the one that got them to pass the law saying that, you know, you need to make these extremist groups illegal. Well, many of them were illegal anyway. Make it illegal to support a terrorist group. Well, Hamas are deemed a terrorist group. Yet yesterday they let up to 10,000 people on the street chanting for them in support. How does that work? Oh, because it's the English, Stuart. Absolutely, mate. We'll see a different side of the police then. You can guarantee it. And the thing is, if they do that, all they're doing is proving us right. Absolutely. And they will get slated for it. But they don't matter how much you slate them off and how much you prove against them, just how bad they are. It doesn't seem to affect them. They don't give a shit. They don't listen. I mean, you've still got the fucking idiots going around telling people it's illegal to pray in public. You know, next to a park where the fuckers are down there on their prayer mats. But if you're a Christian stood there, nah. Yeah, I think they will. But this time, I think that there will be trouble. I think there will be a lot more that push back. But the thing is getting everybody to push back. And I've always said this, these protests are no good and don't achieve anything unless you push back. Yes, people will get hurt. People will get battered. They will get injured. That's the nature of the beast. Because until you're prepared to take those casualties, same as in war, you ain't going to never win. Actually, Loafer, you're not actually allowed to film in royal parks, believe it or not, and that includes Hyde Park.
Yeah.
There is a law that says you cannot record any footage in them. It's something to do, I think it's if you're on the path or the roadways, but you can get around it because it doesn't mention anything about being on the grass. So, but I know there is something in place that says it is illegal to do that. They'd love that, Gary. If they could make it illegal for you to think, they spent enough time on censorship trying to push it. We absolutely know that's what they want. Yeah, it's something to do with protecting Crown land. I mean, we went through it many, many years ago down in Cornwall. Obviously, the Duchy, on paper, owns most of the beaches, or all the beaches. But what was also in that was the Duchy only owned, or the Crown, as basically the Duchy is, only owned a certain amount of beach between high and low water. So on low tides, they don't actually own that beach below that tide level. So, and that became about because they tried to charge us for putting crab traps down. Yeah, it's only certain levels though, Gary. When the tide goes out on a spring tide, for those that don't know, it goes out a hell of a lot further. And that opens up beach that isn't actually owned by the Duchy or the Crown. And again, that's different in different areas because there are areas in England where the tide doesn't go out that far, even on spring tides. 1% of Atlantis. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching Saturday to see what goes off. I shall probably do my usual thing, have 3 or 4 streams open. If it's people I know, then, I'll be passing on information from one stream to another. If the police are kettling at one end of the protest or kicking off at one end, obviously people that are at the other end ain't going to see it. So I will try and do the same as I did during the lockdown ones. Those that can't see or in the area where it's going off, I'll let them know where it is. All right, Loafer, no worries, mate. I don't particularly like 2C Ska. I don't even like him as a person, but as a so-called TV Tusi, he's a load of bollocks. I mean, he stood there a few weeks back saying, oh, it's all going off. There's a huge protest here and there's a huge protest facing them there. In fact, if you look from another angle, from another streamer, the huge protest he was talking about was about 30 people. And they were being kept well away by the police. Yeah, you see him running up and down between them with his fucking stab vest on, making out he's a hero. Nah, he doesn't interest me. He never has.
No, we don't get rid of Low for that. He's not going till Saturday.
Oh. Yeah, he's like a small version of mainstream media. If he can make something look bigger than it is, he will. And I honestly don't bother watching him. I don't. If he's the only stream going, then I'll watch it with it muted, just to watch what's going on in the background. But I don't actually seek him out.
Didn't you say the other week he was making much ado about nothing?
That's what I just said.
Yeah, and the guy filming behind.
Yeah, I just said that 30 seconds ago, darling. Yeah, exactly, Stuart. He's and a lot of his stuff is behind a paywall anyway. It's on a website that you've got to pay to get access to. And that is something I won't do. If you're that dedicated to what you do, you don't take money for it. You put it out for free and you put it out so everybody can see it. If he works for you, Scar, fine, mate. But be aware that's how he works. Mayor Tusi, Kipper. I mean, he did at one point. I didn't actually watch it, but he went off to fucking Iran or Palestine or Israel or somewhere and was going on about over there. You know, it's like that Alex fucking what's his face, you know, keep sending me the money, and there he is doing his live streams from fucking Florida or somewhere, you know. Oh, the channel needs money. Yeah, well, why are you streaming from fucking Florida then? Why aren't you back over here, you twat? And would you believe there's still people that pay him? Even though he's in Nick, he's still getting donations. Yeah, I just don't like the way he puts things, Kipper. I mean, he's got contacts. He hobnobs with a lot of the politicians and that. But from what I know of them, most of them are very wary of him. Yeah, Belfield conned a lot of people, Scott. A lot of people. And still is. And the original one over here that was doing the same. Back during, even before lockdown. Brian Rose, the London Army. Well, he started off, he was an American speaker, con man. And basically got discredited in America, so he moved over here. But you don't hear a lot of him now, since he got arrested trying to run for London mayor. I don't watch Funky Prepper, Kipper. I watched one of his videos and nah, not for me, unfortunately. Yeah. Again, he's another one. You know, I don't like slagging YouTubers off, but I've got my reasons for not liking them. Yeah, a lot of them are grifters. They're there for the money, for the views. You know, people said, well, why don't you donate a coffee or buy me a coffee or something? I said, no, I'm not here for the money. I started my channel to put out a message. and get word out, give people the news, let them know what's happening. The ones that don't watch TV, don't listen to the mainstream media. I wanted to put out the truth. And the actual first video I did, I think I remember saying that I will never, ever accept donations or anything for this channel. Never. And the same as I like to keep the channel quite small. Yes, it would be nice to have a few more subscribers. It would be nice to have a few more watching. But that's not what I'm about, because I know most of the people that watch me and listen to me do it because they're interested in what I've got to say. They know I'm not going to ask for anything. They know I'm going to tell them the truth. I've got no reason to lie. But, yeah, I used to have to deal with a lot of drama. We had a lot of idiots on channels I used to go on. And that's why I don't go on them channels anymore. I just can't be doing with it. I do my thing. I mean, we've got 37 watching now. With the amount that are active in the chat, I know there's one or two lurkers in the background there that I haven't got any problem with at all, because they openly tell me they hang around in the background. But I know there'll be one or two in there that will be taking shit from this and repeat it elsewhere for the drama value. So that's why I don't bother with them. Hi, Bill. I had the anti-terrorist police knock at my door recently. If they only knocked at the door and they didn't have a warrant, hi, Boo, you shouldn't have let them in. Always talk to them through the window. Very, very rarely at the moment, with the way they're getting slagged off, will they kick a door in without a warrant. They'll try to get in, but if you've got the door locked, you've got a good case against them. That's all right, Boyley. I'm damn sure you could spend that money on something better. Gary Hart. Low for my excavator. Well, I've never denied that I do watch some of the mainstream media, because you've got to be able to find the stories to go and look behind the stories. And it is the only place where you will see live statements, which I do like to watch, because, they're live. Yeah, most of them are scripted, but Neil Oliver, I'm kind of on the fence with him, Kipper. I don't know whether he's doing it for the sensationalism or whether his heart is really in it, because sometimes he does sound very, very convicted about what he says. At other times he doesn't. Russell Brand, I believe, is only there for the money and the fame, because he lost that when he got ripped off of mainstream TV. So he had to find something else to keep himself in the highlight, in the limelight. Yes, you will. Now, you're saying that, Francis. You look how many of these people that used to profess to knowing this, saying this, they follow this, that, and the other. But once they get on something like GB News, something like that, again, it's all scripted. They are told what they can say. Contrary to what they say, they don't have a free hand. And the biggest thing with those is Ofcom has a lot of control over them. In fact, Ofcom are looking at prosecuting, I think it's GB News even now. And that was over an interview with Sunak, believe it or not. But those I don't bother watching. I'd rather go and look through the internet and not YouTube or anywhere like that to find the actual stories. I won't mention any names, but I have got one of my subscribers is an absolutely amazing person. They more or less spend all their time just researching things, finding things out. And they are an amazing person. And if there's anything that I can't find, that's my go-to person. And they've never, ever missed the opportunity to show me what they found. So you know who you are. You're probably in the background there somewhere. Hell of a job. Hell of a person. And they are dedicated to what they do as well. And you can ask all you like. I will not reveal who it is for personal reasons. Yes, Stuart, they spend more of their time trying to dig up dirt and slagging them off rather than report on things. Let's put it that way. The fat twat that come from mainstream media to one of them. What's his name? Always fucking arguing.
Oh, Piers.
Piers, that's him. Piers Morgan, is it?
Yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah, you were going to say Brosnan then as well.
I know. It was actually. That was the first one that came into my head.
First one came into my head, but I knew it was Piers.
He's just he is there to cause arguments. That is all he does. It's all he's ever done. Even when he was with mainstream media, he's unconventional, but he will go against everything, even backtracking on what he said if he can cause drama. Piers Morgan is a peak wank. He should have been one that never got any further than a wank, to be honest. Loafer. Yeah, Ofcom should be doing a lot more. I mean, I said this the other day when they were going to, what was it Sunak was talking about? Oh, protecting the kids online. Censorship online. Oh, we need to put more in place. No, they don't. What they need to do is get Ofcom to use the online safety bill in the way it's meant to be used. Not censoring people for chatting normally, but for shutting these sites down that are dangerous to kids. Oh, that was it. He was talking about banning kids under 16 owning phones.
Owning mobile phones.
iPhones and the like. Well, that's what Ofcom is supposed to be doing. Now, Ofcom were an independent entity when they started, but they are now government controlled and they're government funded. Same as a lot of these ones that are supposed to be keeping an eye on things, Ofwat, things like that. It's like the water problems with the bugs in the water and the sewerage. You know, that story broke, mainstream media are all over it, and then all of a sudden they're leaving it alone. Because Ofcom have told them. Okay, that's enough on that. Beware of the buildings with no windows. That's only if you don't want to pay your daylight tax. Jen, Talk TV are probably one of the worst ones. I mean, it's like all these ones now. Oh, we know when the heat wave's going to hit. You can't predict the weather for fucking tomorrow properly. How are you going to predict it months or years in advance? You know, it's bullshit. Cryptosporidium. Never drink the water. Fish fucking pissing it. Well, Loafer, as you probably know, being a beer freak, That's why people used to drink lots and lots of beer back in the medieval days, because it was healthier than drinking the fucking water. And as for the war, Palestine, Israel, and shit like that, well, Israel have basically destroyed the place anyway. So, you know, and a lot of the Russian-Ukrainian thing, that's kind of disappeared a lot from the media now, other than when Putin's threatening the rest of the West. But again, they're still bringing it up in the statements. Oh, because we've got to fund this, fund the war in Ukraine. No, they haven't got to fund the war. Let them fucking get on with it. It's nothing to do with us. And that, they're saying, oh, that was why we ended up with the expensive power and the cost of living crisis and shit like that. It was because we got involved with it. If we hadn't got involved with it, we wouldn't have had any of that issue. But they kept saying the Ukraine's the breadbasket of the world. That's where, if we can't get the grain from Ukraine, we're all going to starve. I've never seen a shortage of bread on the fucking shelves.
I did on Tuesday. I had to buy thick sliced.
But again, the scaremongering. Heather just reminded me with that statement. The government are saying, get yourself an emergency kit together, stock up with this, stock up with that. Well, all that's going to fucking do is panic people into panic buying. It's going to put money into retailers and suppliers' hands.
I put money on it. Everybody's larder is better stocked now than it was before the pandemic.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody's got an extra stash of toilet roll just in case.
Yep.
Or an extra bag of pasta. Or...
and the thing is, like someone said the other day, there used to be, I think it was 300 food banks throughout the country. Now there's thousands of them. These are the things the government should be concentrating on, not these harebrained fucking ideas that they're coming out with now. They're doing nothing to help this country. All they're doing is helping themselves and getting paid handsomely to do it. I mean, our cupboards are always full, Loafer. Basically, we could be self-sufficient for a while with what we've got. But, we haven't got the room or the money to fill a fucking warehouse with stuff or build a bunker. Oh, why haven't they moved?
But at the end of the day, if I couldn't buy food, we wouldn't starve.
Oh, no, we certainly wouldn't starve.
You'd pull a face and go, God, not that again. But
if you're hungry enough, you'll eat whatever's put in front of you. No, there won't be, Scar. And a lot of the food, yeah, it does last longer now, but what does that tell you?
more preserved.
Processed, isn't it? That's why it lasts. Do food banks have AGMs?
No, not the one I found.
But most of them, Moo, you've still got to jump through a few hoops to even get a bag of food off of them. They want your details and everything like that as well. You've got to prove that you're on benefits. Yeah, I dare say there are people that abuse them, but there again, there's a lot of people that could do with the help from them, that could do with the extra supplies, but they're too proud to go to them. You know, oh no, I wouldn't be seen going to one of them. That means people would know I'm poor. Personally, if you've got kids in the house and you are short of a bit of grub and that, there's no disgrace now in going to them, none at all. You know, there's millions of people do.
Not just people with kids either.
No, a lot of pensioners do. We've got a friend that's actually, he's only just got his pension. He's only just become a pension age. And he's realised now that, yeah, he can save a few quid by going to the food bank and getting a bit extra from them. And how often does he go? Is it once a week you're allowed?
Yeah, once a week.
Once a week. But the amount they give you, you know, it wouldn't keep a family of four going for a week. Far from it. But that's not what they're intended to do. They are there with the intention of trying to help people out. And they do. I'll give them that. Yeah. I mean, personally, I would like to see all the big supermarkets with all the stuff they throw in the skips that's still edible, still viable. A lot of it's still in date. I'd like to see them giving that away to people.
A lot of them do now.
If I needed a food, I'd just go to Tesco's and help myself. Yeah, but isn't that against your religious beliefs, me? Thou shalt not steal. You can put a caveat on the bottom of that. Thou shalt not steal unless you're fucking hungry. Yeah, that's why I said, Loafer, they are a big help and more people do rely on them. But even now, they say the economy is improving. I'm not seeing it on the shelves. I'm not seeing it on the prices. And there are still families out there that go without foods to make sure their kids get fed. They will just turn the other cheek. Yeah, that's what we used to get, God bless. If you didn't eat your tea, it was put in front of you the following night or the following day for dinner. You either eat it or you go without. I had a couple of boxes in lockdown, but there was real weird stuff, no meals. No, it's basically donations, Francis. I mean, if you look at a lot of the tins they hand out, some of them have even got rust on them, you know, but the food's still in date. I mean, there was always the places where you could go and get the what we used to call the lucky dip, all the cans with no labels on. That, you know, they were around for a long, long time. Well, this is the next thing, Patrick. Everybody was going on about the one down in Devon Water, Southwest Water. But it's not just them. That's just been highlighted because it got leaked out about the cryptosporidium. But that has actually been happening around the country for some time. It's just that outbreak got a little bit out of control. And it got out. It got released.
As you walk around, you'll see food donation boxes all over the place. There's one in the middle of our precinct. Aldi have them, Lidl have them. I think every shop now, every supermarket now has them.
Yeah, but they still throw food away that's perfectly edible. Yeah, they weren't originally though, were they, Loafer? Because they were sealed with lead, and that used to give everybody lead poisoning. Yeah, the Thames. I used to live Abingdon on Thames, and that was polluted for many a year. We used to swim in it as kids, and then I remember one summer, I don't know who it was, one of the agencies come along and said, "Look, you keep swimming in there, you're going to get ill." And we did stop, but there has been.
But that stops you drowning as well.
Well, it wouldn't stop us. We were the assholes that used to go around jumping on and diving off bridges and that. Yeah, well, I was living around the Severn for years, Kipper, Bristol, up and around that area. The pencil must be lead, Stan Laurel. Yeah, but it's not lead, is it? It's carbon.
Graphite.
Or graphite, yeah. Yeah, he's Kipper's Gloucestershire. Yeah, you're the upper Severn then. But, I mean, yeah, living in Newquay alone, you used to be able to go out on the headland, well, you still can. Although it's allegedly been treated, so there's no bacteria in it, you can still see turds, Tampax, fucking all sorts coming out the water outlet.
Well, you used to be able to. You haven't been there for a while.
Well, I haven't been there for a while, no. But people used to go up there and fish for the mullet in it, and they'd fucking eat them. I'm like, oh, God, no. The only fish I ever used to eat from there was an outgoing tide, and that was fishing inland further away from it. So anything that was coming out was going out to sea. But there again, it used to get that bad some summers, you'd see it coming back in on the next tide anyway. Yeah, a lot of the pesticides and fertilizers did leak into the river, Kipper. This is why they were trying to ban the nitram, the nitrates, because that shit does kill rivers. And there's a little hint for those that don't know. Nitram, the fertilizer, can actually be converted with other substances to make a big bang, shall I say. Not a nuclear big bang, but they'll make a big bang. If you know what you're doing.
Are you just going to take something to Holly in the cupboard?
You want them?
I said, are you taking something to Holly in the cupboard?
Taking something to Holly in the cupboard?
Oh, don't worry.
You're talking in riddles.
At one point, Holly said she was in our cupboard. She was being held captive.
Oh. You're going to feed Holly in the cupboard. It's still yet to catch a three-eyed fish. To be honest, Mew, I have seen over the years quite a few mutant fish. Not zombie mutants, but they do happen. So I'm missing out on a lot of the chat here. No link for panel. I just showed. No, I can put the link in there. Last couple of weeks, to be honest, Simon, I've said if anybody wants to come up, do you want the link? And nobody came forward and said yes.
That's because they were all too busy having their own conversation in the chat and didn't want to talk to you.
I have put it up before and it's been there I usually put it up after the first hour, but no fucker comes in. So
he's not going to, no.
Patriot, if you haven't got a camera on, mate, because it's your first time up, not a chance. Oh, you've changed your name, have you now?
Oh, that's from the Bath PTSD camp. Fucking hell, still doing that. Oh, can't be asked to fucking change it. How you doing, Rog?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. But yeah, I said last week, does anybody want me to put the link up? And nobody put anything in the chat, so I didn't bother.
I'll have put some gel on. I'm sorry.
It's a saving grace. I just give mine a wipe.
Oh,
This is
I
getting
thought
a bit
about my
better
head.
now.
How you all getting on down there? All right, Mrs. W.
Yeah, she's in the background there. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely fine. The fatigue hit a bit today because I did exert myself a bit too much earlier.
I got a bit of sciatica at the moment, but what have I got here? I don't know, bits and pieces.
But
Fucking spinning.
you're still doing well. This is what, 6 weeks now, is it? Fag free?
Oh, I'm not counting.
Yeah, 5 or 6 weeks now, cigarette free.
Cigarette free. Well done. I was gonna have to ask you. Do I have to catch up?
Well, I haven't had any weed for probably best part of 3 months now.
Yeah, I remember. When you was coming off on it.
Yeah,
and I sussed out what was going on. I could see that you was coming off on it, and you kind of like had to readjust.
well, the puffing away on this thing. I mean, I've got about a third of the bottle of the fluid left, and once that's gone, that's going then as well.
Yeah, you're on the vape, are you?
Eh?
Yeah,
You're on the vapes then.
yeah.
Yeah.
How's your right? Have you right? Good to see. What vape have you got? Let me see your vape. Okay, yes, because some of these ones you go buy, these E-lift ones, always gives you popcorn lungs. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did try again several months ago, and they taste nice. They got like a sweetness to them, and they're very tasty. And I thought, yeah. But then when I was breathing, I was getting that crackling, that popcorn. Yeah. So gone back to the old faithful.
Well,
I know.
The pineapple one.
I find that whenever I give up, sorry, Ross, whenever I find I give up on the patches or the tablets or whatever sprays, and it affects me badly, I end up going back to smoking. I smoke even more than I did before.
Yeah. Well, I've got the incentive. Mainly, it's for my health, obviously, as you know, and I've said quite often I've got issues with my throat from the car fire and that, with scarring and obviously that got down into the lungs as well. So I've always had an issue with breathing, but it's also been accentuated a bit more since I've had this problem with polycythemia, because that affects your breathing. And I realised, I was coughing my guts up at night. I was hacking stuff up all the time. Well, I've always hacked up a bit of stuff because of the scarring. It sticks to it and builds up on it.
Docker's oysters.
Yeah. But since I've actually stopped the fags, that has got a lot better.
Good.
The only thing I've found is the vape does give me a little bit of a dry cough, as it were. You feel like you want to cough something out, but it's not there. But
have you got nicotine? Have you got nicotine in that vape mix? Yeah. Do you find, Rog, when you start going onto it, you put it down and you panic? Where do I put it? No?
If I leave the house or I'm out, so I don't take it with me.
Oh, fair play. That's you're doing well. You are doing well. I mean, when I went from normal tailor-made Benson edges, I did notice that I know people can say smoking's bad for you, but when I went from the normal cigarettes and I went to these, like prior, when I was on those normal cigarettes, if I ran up the stairs for some reason, I'll be going. But when I went onto these,
I'm
I
like
feel
that if I walk up,
for it.
let alone run.
No, hey, let's not go there. Dan's not here at the moment. It's not gone past 12 o'clock. But yeah, I found it was better.
Lodger, go to Switzerland. The air is unbelievable. Now, this is why I
Really?
like to go up north, where we go on holiday, because it's on the coast. You've got an onshore wind most of the time, and I do breathe a lot better when I'm up there. And I also sleep a lot better because I'm out in the fresh air a lot more. Moo said, yeah, you can get weed in the vapes now. Yes, you can, but it's very expensive.
That's what I thought.
And
Very expensive.
The THC ones are actually illegal.
THC.
And would you trust it? Somebody gave me something once. Well, I think he gave me, what's he call it? That spice. Mate, fucking hell, I was such a state. And I've done a lot of stuff. Like you, Rod. I mean, I've been a bit of a boy when I was a lad. And I tried this and tried that. I haven't done skag or anything shit like that. But wow, that's spice. Wow.
Never hidden the fact that when I was younger, I used to be having powder up my nose and all sorts of shit.
Done it all.
The only rule we did have within the bike club was you can smoke what you want, you can snort what you want. We catch you with a needle in your arm, we'll break the needle off and push the needle.
Yes. No, that's it. No. I totally agree with that. I mean, I'm on about things that were sociable, party things, enjoyable. You know, like you go out to a club or spend the night with your missus with a duvet downstairs in front of the TV and all that kind of stuff.
Well, it was the powder that screwed me up because I was doing it literally to keep myself going because I was doing 3 jobs and doing double shifts and shit like that. You couldn't do it on just smoke alone, as it were. And I ended up having to pay for myself to get off it. I realised that I was spending over £500-600 a fucking week on the shit just to keep 3 jobs going.
Wow.
I went to my doctors and all sorts of people. Where can I get some help for this? I want to stop it. Back then, nobody would give you any help. So I had to book myself in and pay for myself for a month and a half to get over the initial shock of stopping it. But it's something that I've never regretted doing. That, to me, the way I was getting, it was money well spent. Because it would have killed me eventually.
The thing is, Rog, things aren't the same these days. I mean, back in your day and back in a little bit after your day, for me, it was all about fun and happiness and kind of it wasn't the greed that's out there now where people fuck about with things and stuff like that. Yeah,
I mean, the only times I did anything that was a bit further was like, the acid and stuff like that and tabs. Yeah, that was more of a sociable thing.
Experimental as well. It was fun, wasn't it? It was fun.
Well, I'm saying
I know we shouldn't be promoting stuff, but
I went to the Pink Floyd concert in Wembley many years ago.
A real one.
I spent the whole hour and a half of their solo set with my back to them, staring at the lasers and the lights on the mixing desk behind me. I didn't even see them.
Even to this day, I've had my little moments where, like Pink Floyd and Meat Loaf, I just sit here with a pair of headphones on because otherwise we get the police knocking on the door. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, is it? Sorry. But yeah, you can't beat that kind of stuff. And even my boy, he's 19 now, loves all the Pink Floyd and Meat Loaf and everything.
We travelled up to Bristol from Newquay for a party up there. And we had a van at the time, so, you didn't have to drive or ride. There was about a dozen of us in the van. Now, on the way back, some of the lads stayed up there, and I was in the back of the van on my own. And they gave me a bottle of beer. And it was quite obvious that something was in it, because by the time we got back to Newquay, they opened the back doors. I fell out and I was just terrified. What they'd done, they'd stopped halfway down the fucking motorway, picked up some of these motorway flashing lights that they put on top of the cones.
Oh, yeah.
Opened the back doors of the van, threw the fuckers in there, shut me in and carried on. And I was freaking out in there. And
We did. It's all right, though, isn't it? It's all right. We look
Yeah,
back on it. It's fun.
it was part of the thing.
But you knew what you were getting.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting back then, as you say. It was only things like acid and that was manufactured. That there was none of these designer drugs as it was back then.
Yeah.
If you bought acid, you got acid, not something cut with something else.
Yes, they are.
Exactly.
Lodger. He collects them, mate, and repairs them.
Yeah, I got it's getting a bit fucking crazy, man. Have you seen it's got another two
Yeah, they come
levels?
forward 2 lines.
I know. And the thing is, I got them in the conservatory as well. My missus is going mental, but somebody give me that one there, and it said, yeah, it's working, but it wasn't. When I got it, but I fixed it now. And apparently, it's one of those most sought after machines. Not the Arc. What's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here, will you?
A collectible.
All right, that'll do. and then this one here, I've been after for like 15, 16 years. Got that one, and then this one here, and then oh no, there's more. That fucking thing there. Oh mate, you know, like when you wait for a bus, and all 5 or 6 of them come at once. That's what happened to me a few weeks ago. So just silly little things.
That used to be like me with the mountain bikes. I'd have a workshop full of them out there. So, well, why have you got them all? You can only ride one at a fucking time.
So I've got to have a bit of a clear out. The trouble is, I get these things in, and then I'm a bit OCD, as you know, and I restored. I mean, that was a fucking shed. That was out of someone's shed. Now it's like brand new, and I fix it all up, and I think, oh, it's like your baby. You don't want to let it go. You know, it's like with a bike mod. Do you know what I mean? Like you kind of strip it all down, polish all the alloy on the engine and the casings, put it all back together, and it's.
I haven't been able to race a mountain bike, or even ride a mountain bike now for at least 3 years due to injuries and health.
Yeah.
And it was only the beginning of this year that I actually sold my race bike. Every time I went in there, I must advertise it. And when it came to advertising, I thought, no, I won't. I'll just keep it for another couple of months. You never know. And eventually one of my mates, a very good mate of mine, said, you know, I'd be interested in buying it for my missus. I said, well, fair enough, mate. I said, let's do a deal on it now. And then I can't go back on it. And straight away he said, well, I can't pick it up for a couple of months because he was in sort of moving properties and what have you.
Yeah.
But what he did, he paid me for it there and then. So it was his. I was just keeping it for him. So I knew it was going to go. I couldn't go back on the deal. I mean, I have still got a hardtail out there, which is a bloody good one. It's a custom built one that I built. I am a little bit reluctant to get rid of it, but the main reason for that is the grandkid, the oldest one, he likes to have a ride out now and again. And his new stepfather, he had one he bought round, and it's a right wreck. It's basically unbuildable. So my idea of thinking is that one's there if he wants to use it, so the lad doesn't have to go and ride on his own.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Keep
Pass
it
it down.
But
sorry
the
to everyone in the
younger
chat. I haven't said hello. Sorry, Rog.
right,
And everyone in the chat and everything. I kind of like, like I said, I've done some Coca-Cola balls and a few drinks. So
I'm still on this. I have cut down on the old goat juice. No. It's 0.
I saw I've been around for a while, Rog. I get a bit confused because it used to be Fridays, didn't it? It'd be Friday afternoons, and then I have to do the food run for the vets and stuff like that, and then but yeah, I don't. The thing is, I don't get the notifications. It's YouTube, isn't it?
They don't send any of mine out half the time anyway.
Yeah, and I was just bouncing around earlier on, and then I said hello, and Mrs. W said, "Are you bored?" No, I wasn't bored. Just come across it.
Well, she's got her own channel now and runs a stream on a Friday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's only been doing it 3 weeks, is it?
4 weeks now.
4 weeks. It's essentially for the girls. When she has a panel up, Holly will come up, Jenny will come up. Although Jen's been having a bit of an issue with getting online lately on there. You know, the blokes are welcome as well, but it's more orientated for the ladies.
There's a lunch if anybody wants it, if anybody hasn't some.
She does the same time as me, 7 till 10. It has run over a few times when it goes well. But yeah, she's gradually building it up, and you know, it's just nice. I'm always in there, but I only come up on the panel when she wants me up there. You know, I'm not there all the time. I just keep the chat going for the guys and what have you. And so far, touch wood, she's been going really well at it.
I don't know. Let me just see if I'm
she's enjoying it.
Oh, subscribe. Oh, it must be new. There we go. You got 60 now, Heather.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Always.
I need another 500 and you'll be up with me.
Oh.
But again, that's something YouTube have been pissing me around with for ages. I'll get some new subs in and they'll dump a load out. You know, in fairness, yeah, they're the ones that aren't participating, but I've had quite a few that have come in and said, "Oh, YouTube unsubbed me. They've unsubbed me." I said, "Yeah, they will."
Yeah.
I said, even though I'm a small channel, they still harass me all the time, removing comments.
It's because of our patter that we're common sense people, just you know what I mean. And look at what happens to the other people like Rev and Base Welshman and all the other ones. Well, I'm not going to go to all of this. There's no priority there, by the way. And they do. Like, 1 minute they got like 80,000, or and then they're down, and they knock off like 20,000, stuff like that. I mean, why?
Yeah. Well, you look at what they did to Rev, stopped him streaming off his main channel.
Yeah, I've seen him for a while.
Yeah, they've never given him a viable reason. The first time it happened was the weekend me and Dan went down there, to be honest. All of a sudden, for some reason, he couldn't stream on Rev Simon Sideways.
Couldn't go live.
Couldn't go live. So we went out on Rev on a Rant. And that's where the one he does his streaming from now. Oh, hello, porno.
So
Rev streams every stream now from Rev on a Rant.
I mean, I don't really go to Discord. I mean, very, very rare do I go on it. It's too much. I can't be dealing with Discord. What do you reckon, Rhett? Do you ever go on there anymore?
The only time I go on there now is we've got a private little server that certain people are in.
Is that the one I'm on as well?
Yes.
You set up about several months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go away.
And that's the only time I go on there now. It's the only server I go in. Simply because there's too many idiots get in there.
I mean, I find in life just a little bit. I mean, YouTube does kind of like suck you in and all that kind of stuff. It was all right during the lockdown. To be fair, I quite enjoyed the lockdown in some ways, you know.
People needed somewhere to go, didn't they?
Yeah, and it's time. It kind of helped you take a step back and reflect on what's going on because it's so fast, wasn't it? But with the cost of living and doing this and doing that, it's hard to fit all that in still, you know. Well, so that's why you didn't see me around so much.
This was the problem with a lot of channels. They started during lockdown, like I did, And there were certain topics on there that we covered. One was immigration, obviously, but most of it was around lockdown
Yeah.
and the pandemic. And of course, once that tailored off and disappeared, so did a lot of channels because they had nothing else to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I delved into, not right into politics, but I started to notice a lot more corruption with the police, especially. A lot more corruption was being exposed in politics. So I sort of switched from the pandemic and that, although I still bring that up. I switched over to that. And I'm quite open. I had no interest in politics at all for many, many years. I only ever voted once in my lifetime, and that was for Brexit. Because
Really?
I believed that we were giving away too much control of our country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I was fucking proved right. But then once we came out and I still realised that there was a lot more control still going on, I thought, no, I need to keep an eye on this. And that was when I started digging into things, looking deeper, finding things out, looking at the stories they were putting out in the press, and then looking behind the stories. And the deeper I looked, the more I found. I thought, this ain't right, So, I mean, some of the things, like even now with Russia, it was a big thing. Oh, we're putting sanctions on Russia because of the war. Well, we should never have been involved in that in the first place. And they've used it as an excuse for what's happening now ever since. But putting sanctions on Russia, they're still doing as much dealing with Russia as they were before that bloody war.
Absolutely, 100%. Well done.
We've got to put the prices up because we haven't got the Russian oil coming in. No, you haven't got Russian oil.
4% of it. All 4% of it.
Yeah. But a lot of the diesel and petrol that is coming into this country now, we used to get from Russian oil.
Yeah, and then
But
India.
what it's doing, they're sending it to India, China, who are
India,
actually
and then
doing
back
the
round.
refining, and we're buying the finished product from them.
Yeah.
So not
With a
only
premium
are we
on top of it.
but not only are we still dealing with Russia, we put English people out of work because we're not refining it ourselves.
Well done. And apparently, North Sea oil is the finest in the world. Apparently,
And there's plenty of it.
oh yeah.
They authorised some new wells and opening up a couple of the new fields 2.5 years ago. But as soon as they opened them up, they capped them off and wouldn't let people draw from them.
I know, Rog. It's just that's what this world. I mean, look at me and you, right? Just normal geezers, right? We've grown up and we haven't got a dog in a race, so to speak. But if we can see that, what the fuck is going on with the rest of the world? It's greed, it's money, isn't it? You got to look, at the end of the day, something don't sit right with you. Follow the money, and then you'll find it.
This is one of the reasons I've been following the WHO for the last few weeks. People, why do you watch what shit they're coming out with?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people didn't realise that 2 days ago they were having the vote on the pandemic treaty. Now, 2 weeks before that, Glug? What? Who's put Glug? That's
He's having a drink.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I got one of my mates who I've caught up with from the old school days. That's his nickname, is Glug. No, I found out that it was Andrew Brigham brought it up in the house one afternoon when there was hardly anybody in there, as usual. He said, are we going to debate this in the house before our representative votes at the meeting in, I think it was Geneva, on the pandemic treaty? And I'm like, what do you mean on the pandemic treaty? And I didn't even know that the WHO at their big meeting or whatever were going to have a vote on it. So I put it out there that this was happening, never said any more about it. And then yesterday, I put a video up with their statement about it, that it had been voted down. So that treaty isn't going to happen at the moment.
Mm.
He
At the
openly
moment.
said that they were going to continue to push for it, continue to work on it. He's not classing it as a defeat. I said, well, you absolutely got defeated because you can't implement it. And now we've got Starmer saying absolutely he's embedded, rather trust the WEF than our own fucking government.
And what was it? The other one, WHO, not WHO, the
WEF,
blue one. The what?
World Economic Forum, the WEF.
Is it that one? No, it's 2 letters, isn't it? The blue, but they've been supporting Palestine and that.
Oh, the UN.
Yeah. Is it UF? No, it's not the UF, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just what can you trust these days? You can't, can you?
You can trust in yourself. You know,
And people like us on the panel, people in the panel now, you and me, we're the only thing that's left out there now. That's the only good thing about YouTube. I know YouTube's a bit of a fucker, but at least it gives us a voice right now.
At the moment.
At the moment, yes. At the moment.
But that's slowly being cut
Eroded.
down. Yeah, absolutely. Again, the online safety bill, which I spoke about earlier, yeah, about 90% of that is designed for censorship, not keeping the kids safe or anything like that.
No.
But Ofcom have been given the power to put it out there, to police it, as it were. The government have handed over the responsibility to Ofcom to implement it. Now, at the moment, you know, platforms like YouTube, whatever, some of them are coming down hard on what is in there, although Ofcom haven't told them to. Now, it's going to get to a point where Ofcom are going to say, right, you can implement everything in there. And that's when you'll find platforms coming down, throwing well, YouTube is throwing loads of people off anyway. But they're doing it backwards. Now, I had a notification, when was it? Monday, that one of my videos had been age restricted.
What was that then? Go on.
But this goes back to June last year.
Wow.
And it was literally a meme that I put. You remember I used to put the meme at the beginning and the end of the videos?
Yeah.
Where there was one on there. It was an old couple on a beach. And the old fella saying, Doris, I think you've got your swimming costume on backwards. It was a cartoon, hand-drawn cartoon.
Like the old Bournemouth ones, you know, and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
It was like a smutty postcard.
A saucy one, like, you know, Benny Hill style.
But they deemed that against community guidelines, so they'd age restricted it. Now, if they'd looked at my analytics, like after the first week, very, very rarely do any of my videos get any more viewings. So what was the point of doing that? I don't know.
I like Twitter, Rog. I mean, are you on Twitter?
No.
Or X? I like that. That's quite free on there.
Yeah, but look at the fucking idiots that get in there.
Well, yeah, but you subscribe to certain persons, and it kind of the analytics will give you the kind of stuff that you like to. It's like on you go Google and you search, I don't know, a drone, and then
Twitter
you get all the
is
adverts.
one of the worst ones, and it's been proved for data harvesting.
Really, I like it.
The only other one I use on here is Facebook. That's literally because this one and a friend of mine kept on at me for ages that I should be on there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I wouldn't know what to do. What the fuck do you do? And what they did, they got on my phone, and between them, they set me up with a Facebook profile. Well, I don't do it on my phone. Everything I do on the internet is done from this computer. I don't do anything on the internet outside the house.
Yeah.
My phones don't connect to Wi-Fi when I'm out. And as I've said before, that phone never gets connected to Wi-Fi. That is texts and phone calls only. That's my own personal one.
But you have to admit, Facebook has got you in touch with a
Yeah,
lot.
I do the same as well. I got the one with all my stuff on it, and the one. I mean, that's no. The one I go out with, this one, no banking apps, no WhatsApp, no Facebook or anything like that.
No,
and that one stays at home.
But this is what Heather was just going to say behind me. Now, I never liked Facebook. Again, because of some of the people that are in there, it's also data harvesting. But I've also seen the good side of it. Now, most of my regulars know this because I've told them before. Since I've been on there, I have found and got in touch with people that I haven't seen or even heard from for over 50 years. Some of my old school buddies, even some of my relations. They didn't even know I had a YouTube channel. I haven't seen them for years. A couple of my cousins over in Ireland, some of them knew I was on there, but the others didn't. And they found me in there. And I started off by I've got friends on there, but I don't actually follow them, not even Dan. All I do is what comes up in my normal feed. If someone sends me a message, I might go in and look at their profile and what have you. But I've got there's one group in there that were posting regular from my hometown. A lot of pictures that I can remember, a lot of the history of the town. And because I know a lot of the history of the town from where I come from, I was interested in it.
Yeah.
So, then I dropped in one or two comments. And all of a sudden, it's like, didn't you go to Fitzharris School? Wasn't your nickname Psycho? And I'm like, yeah. And you don't remember me, do you? And then all of a sudden, like one of them, he gave his nick. That's why I looked at the word Glug there. Now, I've seen loads of. I'll give his name. He has been in here before. Jeff Bolton was his name. But at school, I always knew him as Glug. That was his nickname. And as soon as he put that nickname up into his name, I knew exactly who he was. And I've caught up with a lot of them like that. They found me. I haven't gone and found them.
Same for me, mate. So I didn't set my Facebook up. My missus did. I thought she set it up as a honey trap, really, to see if any of my ex-girlfriends would get in touch. But no, really. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, fucking shitting myself. And you do come across people.
The one loafer.
How many got here?
No, it does have its good uses. Even YouTube, they've all got their bad side.
It does have a good thing, but then you get I must have. I said I wouldn't have no more than 100 people on my Facebook. I'm on 200 and something now. I can't remember now, but I'm getting the trouble is with Facebook, Rog. I'm getting people sending me friends requests I'm already friends with. You have to be very careful.
Unless it's someone that I know the name of, or it's a name that come from my past, I'm very reluctant. And I've said this to many people.
Top of the morning.
If it's just a friend's request out of the blue, I don't know them, their profile's empty, no information, then I just dismiss it.
No, Rog, even then, no. Listen, I sound like someone from back in the past. Then, no. We won't go there, though. Right, so
19, yeah.
Yeah. I get people that I'm always friends with, but then they send me a friend's request I'm already friends with, and I look at her profile and it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I mean, I don't get them now because I fucked them about. I used to get a lot of these scammers that put the picture up of a woman. You know, oh, I really like what you do. I like your profile. Can you send me a friend's request?
It's Heather
okay,
doing a
I'll
honey
send you-
trap.
Yeah,
No bullshit. It's Heather doing a honey trap.
I'll send a message to him. Yeah, I'll send you a request, but can you send me $50 first so I can pay for my internet?
Yeah.
And they just fuck off then.
Yeah, be very careful with social media sites. Very,
Yeah.
very careful.
The ones that confuse me, and I'll be honest, it was a couple of my cousins, females. Obviously, they got married over the years. So, and they're using their married name in their profile. So, you know, I got a request from one of them. Oh, it's Maureen. Maureen? Maureen?
1111.
She's a Maureen Melly. Well, that was my mum's maiden name. And obviously, all the Irish side over there have got the surname Melly. So, yes, I knew that was her. And then two of the other cousins from the same family popped up. And, oh, you know, this is so-and-so, formerly Melly. But then because I'd already friended one, which I knew was genuine, they're on their profile. So I knew it was the genuine one. Same with a lot of my mates from the bike club. You know, I'd lost touch with a lot of them. Well, a couple of times a year now, I meet up with who my best buddy was for donkey's years. Heather set up the meeting unknown to me when we were on holiday a couple of years back. All of a sudden, I saw two bikers, a bloke and a woman, walking down the prom. Didn't think twice about it.
Didn't even realise it was a woman.
Looked round as they got a bit closer, and I did like a double take, and I'm like, fucking hell, I know who that is. And unknown to me, Heather had set up the meeting. She had told them where we were because they were in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Now, last year, we invited them down, and they came and stayed over with us. So we could have a bloody good catch up, you know, had a meal and that. And they're coming over again this year. The second weekend. So, you know, that's more people that I've got back in touch with in person as well as just chatting to. And
because the thing was, I'm friends with quite a few of his past associates and mates all over Cornwall and whatever. Because they'd added me to keep in touch with him.
Because I wasn't on Facebook.
Because he wasn't on Facebook.
Yeah. It's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just happened to notice that his mate had been at a rally in Silloth, which is where we stay, just a couple of weeks before we were going up. And it's like, shame it wasn't the same weekend. We could have met up. That was it then. Plan went into action. And I hadn't told him anything about it. They were messaging me while we were fishing. So when they pulled up in the...
Simon's just gone off.
Oh, he's still here. When they pulled up in the car park, I've gone over to see them and say, yeah, hasn't got a clue. Has not got a clue what's going on. And it was brilliant. Unfortunately, his microphone decided at that moment in time it was going to run out of battery power. So the conversation and the next couple of hours were lost to all of eternity. because the camera wasn't recording the sound. But it was a great get together.
Yeah,
Worked
it
a
was a
treat.
nice surprise. Sorry, guys, if I'm ignoring the chat there a bit. You know what I'm like when I've got someone up on the panel.
There's only Loafer talking about alcohol.
Sorry, guys. Not deliberately cutting you out there.
Oh, it's Simon's fault. I'm going to be right back.
You are.
Yeah. Because I need to stretch my legs, go to the loo and get a drink.
Yeah, I'm thinking I've only got a 3-can bladder and I'm on my 4th one now.
Well, you can wait for me to come back because you're not sitting on your bloody lap.
But yes, Loafer, absolutely. If nobody's interested in politics, they are interested in you. They're interested in all of us. Most of it on how much money they can glean out of us. But at the moment, with what Sunak's trying to do, as I said in today's video, I believe it's the 1984 scenario. He's an egomaniac that wants total control, but he won't take responsibility for any of his actions or anything that he does.
You said you could do it over speaker.
Oh, you think of what he's trying to put in place now and what he's already put in place, then that is the totalitarian society that he wants. He wants to control every aspect of your life. We said this from the beginning, that this is what they ultimately wanted, and he's the one that has pushed it the furthest. The others that were in there temporary didn't have the bollocks to do it. He's arrogant enough to push for it. And that's where we got to today with him. We know, and he's been exposed, he will lie. He will cheat. He'll never admit that he's wrong, even when he is. He'll play on sympathies. But that's what he does. We know it. He's a very rich person, so he don't give a shit.
You talking about Sunax as a being for a piss?
Yeah. And basically, he's got his green card for America. He's got
Yeah,
a place.
fucking punk.
I've heard a rumour that he's already got his daughters enrolled at a very nice, posh Californian private school.
Oh, that
I
won't
thought
surprise me. You can guarantee his kids won't be involved in this shit that he's trying to put everybody else in. None of them will. None of those elites will. They'll all
Imagine, this is going to work out well, isn't it? They're about signing up all the immigrants, giving them a gun. Giving them a gun. I mean,
that's what I did the clip the other day of the Starship Trooper thing. Service guarantees you citizenship.
Was that be citizenship with an SHIT?
I don't know, because I've been having hassles with this fucking thing tonight. Where are we?
How you doing, Loafer?
All right, I've just got a new batch of homebrew open, and it's a little bit cloudy, and it's a little bit hot.
My own.
I don't know whether it's too much fairy liquid in wash when I wash the pint pot, or whether it's not carved up enough. But never mind, it's suppable.
Is it making your jaws go numb?
Not yet, but I might feel a little bit comfortably numb around about 11 o'clock tonight.
Where did I put it? Fucking hell. My I've tried to clean all my files up on here, so I know where stuff is, and I still can't fucking find half of them.
Is anyone going up to London on the 1st?
Some are. There was somebody I was chatting to earlier on one of the videos in the comments. They're hoping to go, but they don't know whether they're going to be able to stream or not. Who else was it? I mean, I'd love to go. I've always wanted to go to some of these protests, but in my physical state, I can't take the risk.
You'd end up like Dan.
I know. I've been thinking about it as well, Rog, because obviously I've got sciatica at the moment and I'm up and down. But I really want to go. I really want to go this Saturday.
Well,
I don't want to tell.
the thing with me is my health. Now, I can't stand the police. If one of them tries to grab me or push me, I'm going to push back. I won't stand there and let him push me. If he pushes me,
Yeah,
I'll
I
push
know.
back. And with my physical state now, especially with the blood thinners and the blood clots, one good slap round the head or even beat round the legs, knocked over, whatever, that could be fatal to me. I am very, very susceptible to blood clots. And it doesn't matter how much you plead to them fuckers, they will not take any notice.
Well, no. No. There is a way out. Just get your Palestinian flag out. Get a cup of tea for an English. Turkey bacon, obviously.
Right. Let's see if
No,
this
I
is-
was supposed to go with. I mean, my missus don't want me to go either. She's go. I mean, the last time I was supposed to go with Pat. For when he went up there. What was it for? What was it? St.
that
George's
was
Day.
Armistice Day. He went up there to
That's it.
met up with Base and that, didn't he?
Yeah, and she said, "I'm glad you didn't go because I know that you'd have been arrested."
There's only one copper that I tried to get all lovey-dovey with and try and convince them that I was on their side, and that's Lesbo Nana, because I'm 56 years old and I've never converted a lesbian. All my life I've wanted to convert a lesbian. Nana, if you're listening, darling, I'm here for you. Don't tell them.
Hey, Nana, by the way, if she's listening, I'm a lesbian too.
Could you
All
hear
hell the
that?
lesbians. All hell the ale. All hell the lesbians.
While I'm doing that, could you hear the volume on that?
Not quite. No.
No.
Right. Where did you say it was? Because this is
You
an
probably
issue
have to
I've
click
had.
on the actual screen, Rog, on the actual
Little
inside the
switch
screen.
before you share.
Little switch before I share. Right, hang on. Let's take that off for a minute. Right, present. Share screen. On there, yeah?
Hang on, let me come and see. Because I don't
Make
know.
sure you click inside the screen as well to activate that screen with the audio.
Right.
Yeah, you can click there at the bottom there. So it's on. That's off. That's on.
Right.
So it should have shared the sound.
Right. Let's see if it does. Because this is something I'm learning at the moment.
All right. Oh, I can hear that. I've got to turn it up though. Turn your volume in the bottom right hand corner, Rog. That's it. Yeah. Now try it. Yay!
Join the mobile infantry and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship.
No,
Right.
this is the thing with Heather, with hers. Now, she's only done, I think it's 3 or 4 streams on StreamYard. 4. She knows more on how to use fucking StreamYard than I do.
Yeah, it's a
She-
bit of a
she-
fucker sometimes.
She's put the timer clock in. She's changed colors, fucking background, learned how to use the volume. That's the first time this week that she showed me the other day was how to get, because I could show stuff, but I couldn't get the volume working.
Yeah, it's going to click on it and make sure it's volume up.
But-
And in the bottom left corner, right hand corner of the screen, where you got the picture of the speaker, we can put the different things up for like microphone or audio or YouTube or whatever, internet. And just yes.
Well, what we do to make it easier, because as I say, it's like a ladies' night. It's billed as a ladies' night. So I try to keep out of it other than the chat. Now, the only way we can do that is she runs her stream from the office upstairs on the desktop up there, and I monitor it from down here. Because if she's in the background or I'm in the background here, we're going to create that loop with the volume and the audio.
Or
So-
they'll butt in,
or I'll butt in.
like I do.
But she did an absolute fucking beauty Friday. Oh, it's gone now. I've got one of them electric fly bats where you can
Oh,
zap
you mean-
the bug. And
I've got a couple as well.
And I've sat here and I was in the back room because it's easier for me to listen in real time rather than the lag, you know. And I'm waving this fucking thing around in front of me because there's a bastard fly in here. And all of a sudden she's flashed me up on the screen. I'm like a fucking demented tennis player, like, you know.
Was it Big Fish, Little Box?
Oh, there it is. And the thing is, it's quite visible because it's bright yellow.
Yeah, I've got. Where's my one gone? Kids have fucking had it, haven't they? Bastards.
You do know you can juice the capacitors up in them to turn them into a stun gun, don't you?
Yes, I know. Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't.
But you've got to change a lot of the wires around if you're using more than 6 volts. The best one is to use the capacitor out of an old microwave. I shouldn't tell you that either.
No, it's not. That's not a stun gun. That's a killer.
I've still not figured out how to strip out a capacitor, because some appliances they can store an awful lot of charge and they can give you a great belt.
When we used to build the sound systems for custom cars, I had 2 in the boot running in parallel, and they were 2 farad.
It's old.
You know, they were
I
the
had
size.
a 24 farad one for my car.
The size of them was the size of a flask.
Yeah, it's like that. Isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah. And I had 2 of them, and I learnt very quickly not to put my fingers across the top when they were fully charged.
You can also take it out of the fly on a CRT, like those things that back there.
Yeah.
One of those out there. That'd be quite fun.
But the microwave one, it's only a tiny little thing, but it only holds a quick charge. It's not.
Yeah,
you
I
can't
know.
slow release it, but it is quite juicy, shall I say?
Handy on a Palestinian flow march. Oh, did I just say that? Sorry.
What I'd love to do at one of these protests is turn up with a bag and a 12-volt battery in one of the old sheep fences and just sort of run the wire around the railings and stuff like that, and then just turn the fucker on.
Yeah, just Google it, guys. Let's not get the channel taken down.
Yeah.
We're not here to give advice about electrical installations.
No,
If anybody's listening,
but bear in mind,
Just
water
things
can
that we
carry a
think.
current quite well.
But I prefer the raisins.
Yeah.
although I do have one
I'm
of these
usually
things.
very careful about what I talk about, but
One of these goes with me everywhere.
We're just listen. We're just a
I
self-preservation society.
yeah. But that's
Oh,
what
dear.
I mean. You know, I learned a lot through chemistry at school, but I learned an awful lot more after I left school. Just what you can
you
do
do.
with certain products that everybody's got in
Elements.
the house.
And whatever. Yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, it's one that's quite openly talked about on YouTube, and people have done videos on it. As long as you can get hold of certain things, you can actually make black powder, and it's not that hard.
No.
You know.
But we don't want to encourage that.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh, no,
encourage
no.
that sort of thing.
We're just
obviously.
talking about the dangers of getting involved in it. By the way, YouTube.
Yes.
But believe me, it is easier poaching fish with a fucking hand grenade and a landing net.
Hey, listen. Talking of which, right? Well, somewhere in the back, in my back of my mind, that is. I got the when we were in Spain, you could buy these. You could buy bangers over there, right? But you got in certain bangers, you could throw into the water and everything floats up to the top.
Yeah.
No, really, they're about €2.
What our favourite one used to be was put them in a sealed bottle and throw them in.
And it's cheaper than fish and chips in England.
Yeah. But it is frowned upon. I mean, basically,
true. That's true.
any pyrotechnic like that now, you've more or less got to have a license for.
You need a license nowadays for putting one foot in front of the other. Have you ever noticed how many appliances come with a 3-pin plug, which is pre-sealed, a shrunk-on 3-pin plug?
Yeah.
And most people don't know how to rewire a 3-pin plug, and they don't know how to actually appropriately fuse rate it for the power of the appliance that they plug it into the wall. There's so many times I've been to places I've seen scorched out live pins on socket outlets because people have overloaded them. I learned that in 3rd year fucking physics class in 1980s, how to wire
And
a
there's
plug.
an awful lot of people that still get confused if they've got the old type with the red wire in them.
80s, Chef. I'm older than you then.
Hang on.
Maybe.
Yeah, the early 80s. 1981, 82. I'm 56.
Oh, yeah. I left in 82 school without being forced into college and further education.
Fuck me, I'd left school by what mid-70s.
I had 2 children.
He's on his. You got to remember, guys, right? He's coming out of school, old Rog, on his penny farthing.
And he told me, mate, I got thrown out of school for a week for going in with a fucking 650 Triumph sidecar. Because I parked it in the headmaster's parking spot. I was
Good old days.
Yeah, that was funny, that one. Who's that bloody motorbike in the car park? We know who that is, right? You can get on it.
You remember the old days at punk, like, you know, when the old like rebels and the non-conformists that had like, you know, the green hair and and the tattoos. They were the true punks and they were the true rebels. They were the non-conformists. Now you see some freak with fucking green hair and tattoos, and you say, well, "Get that freak away from me!" It'll probably call me a bigot or a racist or a homophobe. Everybody's got tattoos now. Even the fucking normies have got tattoos. There's nothing rebellious about getting tattoos.
No, mate. I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be. Like, I see these people with facial tattoos down there. I think, what are you going to be like when you're collecting your pension in the post office, queuing up? No, I'm not into tattoos. It's not me. I mean, if it's up for you, yeah, carry on. But for me, I mean, all right, yeah, maybe you see some people with sleeves and that's quite nice. But all this stuff all over your face and all that kind of stuff, it ain't for me. No way. Sorry, Rod, I know you got some tattoos.
What, you mean like that?
I remember seeing Johnny Rotten on Good Morning Britain.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's a patriot.
He's fucking Johnny Rotten is class act. Now it was Piers Morgan, that fucking shill, that fucking clickbait, rage bait.
Oh, so virtual singer.
He's interviewing Nigel Farage and giving him an hard time. And he said, "Oh, we've got a new guest on. Perhaps you'd like to have a discussion." So they had Piers Morgan and Nigel Farage, and then they got fucking John Lydon on. And he went, "Hello, Nigel." As a quote, he came out, he said, "I never thought I'd see the day when the right wing, when the Conservatives were the rebellious types, and the left wing were the right on social justice warrior conformist types." And that was
There you
coming
go.
from John
That's a
Lydon.
very, very blurred picture, but that was the actual 650 outfit that I rode to school.
And you could, because it's a three-wheeler. Legally.
Yep.
Not at 15.
Not at 15, it wasn't, but
1915.
yeah, that was a long distance enduro outfit. That's my sister sat on it, and that was my girlfriend at the time that sat in the sidecar. That's a real old one, that is.
I remember seeing an old video from the early 80s of Fred Dibner riding a Triumph.
Oh, what a legend.
Honk, 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 with his flat cap on. No helmet.
What a legend.
Fucking Fred, yeah, definitely.
Well, it wasn't only Divner that used to ride Triumphs.
That's a 650, isn't it?
That one is, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God,
And
got it right.
if you look very, very closely at it, nickel-plated forks, nickel-plated frame, nickel-plated side tank, oil tank. That was actually a 1955 Coronation model. I believe they only made 300 of them, and they were unrestricted.
The trouble is, though, Rod, beautiful bikes, getting them on the fucking centre stand. You have to be fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I never had a centre stand on them.
Fucking evil to get on the centre stand.
I don't know whether this one's gonna. No, it's gone real grainy because they were taken off of some real old photographs. But I did very quickly learn how to smoke up the back wheel. And
God, do you know what, Rog? I hate you showing these pictures. I had all these bikes when I was a kid. I had all the KHs, the GT kettles, and everything when I was younger.
oh, Christ,
wow.
they came in way after my time, mate.
But we're not talking about a penny farthing now. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I had all those bikes. GT250, the 4. Oh my God, is it 480? Wasn't it? Is it 480? GT 480?
380.
380. Thank you. By the way, I've had a drink.
There was two versions. There was the water-cooled one and the ram air-cooled one.
And yeah, ram aired one, and you had to change the middle piston. Put a cooler plug in it because it's burn out. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, I remember that.
We did have one. I don't think I've got a picture of it on here though. No, I was looking for one particular picture, which was me pulling a Herkingert wheelie on that Triumph.
What? Say that again. Go on, say it again.
Herkingert wheelie.
You sound like a Bristol with a Gert.
Gert Lush, that is, isn't it? Gert Lush in there, mate. You're right, drive. Oh, yes.
Is it? Yeah, that is proper. That is proper.
Proper
AB boy.
Like down in Cohen. All right, me handsome.
Oh, we had such a good life back then. Poor fuckers these days. I've got no idea. We had such a good life.
The things I've been through back then, I would go through them all again because they're what made me the person I am now.
Exactly.
Even the pain and the bad times, I would suffer again to live them. Yeah, one or two little bits I might change, but not a lot, mate. It's who I am today. That's what forged me.
If anything at all, because wow, we had such a good time.
Yeah. I mean, someone put up on Facebook, I think it was yesterday or today. Do you remember when you used to walk up the street with a woman on the inside to protect her from the traffic?
Oh, yeah, I shared that. Yeah, and I put on there, and kids as well. Kids as well.
I said, remember it. I still do it.
When you remember.
Actually,
the trouble is, Heather prefers to hang on the other side because that supports her dodgy hip.
There's an old folklore that goes around. Another variation on why a man walks on the outside near the curb and the one walks on the inside. It's because in the old days, before they had indoor plumbing, they used to turn the shit and the piss out of the pans and throw it out the window. Yeah. So the bloke could get covered in shit rather than the woman.
The woman, yeah.
It's funny you put that post, Watch, because I went down to Marlborough today because they got a market on a Wednesday, and I took my two young girls down there. And when we was walking down the high street, I was making, right, you go that side, then we cross the road, and then I said, right, and then hold. I said, no, turn around. You know, those kind of things just don't die with you. That's manners maketh man. Manners maketh man.
Too right.
Yep.
Yes.
So well, now you two guys are up there on reacting with the chat a little bit more.
Yeah, sorry guys if anyone's chatting in the chat. Kind of like focus on Rog and
No.
people.
I
tried
Jen
to
just
tell her.
he only don't know anything about bikes. Only ride an exercise bike at the gym. And, yeah, but I couldn't ride anything that don't move. That includes things with 2 legs.
Look, I'm an octopus. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, another couple of sets and you can be a Buddha.
Right, there we go. That's the one. That done? Yeah, still married, by the way. Was it 28 years? I can't remember now. 27. How many years is it? 27 and a half. Well, the thing is, right, when you're having fun, you can't remember, can you? Time
You don't keep count. You don't keep count, mate.
No, you don't. You don't.
I quite often, when people ask us how long we've been together, I let her answer because I can never fucking.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to get kicked in the bollocks, isn't you? Yeah. It's not that we don't care, Heather. It's just that, when you're having fun, it's just, you don't keep track of time. Simple as that.
Checked on Facebook.
It's like that one that I saw the other day. It said, why do you still call your Mrs. Baby and my lover? He said, well, after 40 years, he said, I can still never remember a fucking name.
I can't remember my own kids' names. I mean, I've got 5-year-old here. I get them mixed up all the time. It's just a thing. It's nothing intentional.
Well, it's like me, mate. I mean, I still have the memory issues. Now, we sat here, was it on my stream or your stream when we went back over all the old films?
Yours.
I did a stream a couple of weeks back where we got into talking about old films, old sci-fi series, going back to black and white. And I could remember every single fucking one of them. Yeah, I stopped myself in the middle of a conversation, and within 5 seconds, I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, it's the short-term memory is absolutely screwed. But I could remember seeing the original Thunderbirds in black and white, Stingray, Fireball. I can remember as a 10 and 12-year-old at the cinema club on a Saturday morning watching Flash Gordon with Buster Crabbe.
Yes. I'm not as old as you, but I did do that kind of thing as well. And do you remember the guy that used to go around trying to calm all the kids down? They're fucking having a we're like lunatics in there as kids.
Throwing peanuts at him and all sorts. Yeah.
And they'd be having a heart attack trying to calm you all down.
Yeah. Yeah, Saturday morning kiddies club, wasn't it? It used to
matinee. Yeah, Saturday morning matinee.
Yeah, you used to get a couple of cartoons, a couple of series, and then the film.
Yeah. Wow.
I used to get given a tanner if I hadn't have earned it over the weekend working with my dad and that. I was always given a tanner that used to get me the bus into town. It would get me a bag of chips and a French stick and into the cinema. Or if I went into the cinema without buying the chips and the French stick, I could have an ice cream and a bag of sweets.
Luxury.
But if I had the chips and the baguette, I'd have to walk the 1.5 miles home because I didn't have the return bus fare.
But at least you burnt off the extra calories, unlike modern kids with their overdeveloped thumbs who are putting on weight, don't know how to wire a 3-pin plug. I feel, as quite honest, and we're about whinging about all these young millennial types. Part of me feels sorry for them because it's all right to wax lyrical and get all nostalgic about things, but the kids that are born over the last 10, 20 years, they're never going to have the same life expectations as the boomer generation.
Do you know who the worst ones are?
We're lucky enough, we're fortunate to get on the tail end of the boomer generation. The newer kids, they can't afford their houses, they can't afford this and other, they can't afford to meet down and settle down and have kids. It's a choice between a fucking career and, putting down roots. I mean, the way society's gone over the last 30, 40 years, it's just completely fractured.
Well, there's a guy, I've mentioned him before, I can't remember what his name is now. He's an American, and what he does, he goes round filming these university graduates and college graduates and what have you, and asking them questions.
Yeah.
And the Americans, you think our education system is bad?
Americans are stupid.
They
believe
are
you me.
dumb. One, he said, "Oh, you've got a clock, and the little hands on the 2, and the big hands on the 12. What time is it?" They didn't have a fucking clue.
Really?
Seriously. One of the famous ones that he did was, who fought in the American Civil War?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wasn't that the
Yeah.
English?
Yeah.
The
Seen
Americans.
that. Seen that. Well, the thing is, if you keep people stupid, they'll just do as they're told. If you
Yeah.
keep people stupid and ill-informed, they'll
Easy.
just do as they're told. They'll just roll over. They'll just capitulate, roll over, and take orders.
And
Easy
honestly,
to try.
the American school system is absolutely producing zombies. I mean, I've seen kids over here that don't know how to make a phone call with a dial phone, with the old ringer on it.
Oh yeah.
But they're trying to press
know,
the
or-
buttons.
You show them a mobile and say, right, send a text on that. And it's something like my old Samsung where you got to press number 3 times to get a certain letter up. And, it used to take you 20 minutes to put a phrase in. And they're lost. That's
Where's
why I
Dan? Where's Dan tonight then? Dan Pap.
he's still down with his mum and dad. He's looking after
Yeah.
them more or less full time at the moment.
I got him a gift. You know when
Oh.
someone comes up to you and says, "Have you got a time on your cock?"
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Look,
Where's this going?
I got him a gift.
He did.
It might fall off, but it's okay.
He did do a Sunday stream a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
But
I was
where
there,
he is
I was
at the
there.
moment, he's got no Wi-Fi there.
Yeah, I
His
know.
mum
I
and
know.
dad
I
haven't
told
got
you, listen,
Wi-Fi.
the amount of time the fucker spends down McDonald's, as you and I both know, I said to him, go down there, do your stream from McDonald's.
I will say, people, and in the chat, that's just gone 10 to 10. So, yeah, I usually knock it on the head around 10 o'clock.
Well
Usually
done.
I'm too
I'm gonna
knackered
eat.
to carry on till then, but
Yeah, same as I'm going to eat my food. I went,
Well,
like I said, I went down Marlborough Market today and I bought loads of good food. So I'm
after cutting the paddock out there today, that absolutely wiped me out. And my eyes, they're not too bad at the moment, but they are starting. And once they start going out of focus, I just can't see nothing. It's just part of the symptoms that I get. Sometimes it's worse than others. But I have had to shut streams down at sort of 9:30 in the past because I can't see what I'm doing, can't concentrate. But tonight ain't too bad, but I can feel it starting to go. I even dropped out of Dan's when he did one the other week. I got to midnight. I couldn't focus. I couldn't think.
At least you're
Sorry.
accepting it with good grace. I mean, a lot of people live in perpetual denial, don't they? I mean,
Yeah.
they look in the mirror and they say, well, I guess I'm getting older. No, you're getting old. Everybody fucking gets old. Deal
Yeah.
with it. Accept it. Don't live in denial. Try to, I mean, you get these fucking people about banging Botox in, and I mean, look at me. I'm losing my fucking teeth. I've gone grey. Accept it with good grace and humility and move on. It happens to us all, for fuck's sake.
Them 7 you can see
Be
there,
grateful that you're getting old. Be grateful.
they're the only ones of my own I've got left in my head. I mean, I was going bald early. I was going grey early. I mean, I was starting to go grey in my early 30s. And they said, "Oh, why don't you diet? Why don't you diet?" I said, "Well, why should I? It's a natural process."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
lucky. I'm lucky.
No,
All right, Dan. All right, Pat.
Lord, I am afflicted with a bald patch.
And it goes right from the front to the back. I can draw a line across it, and if I bend down, I look like a dick.
Oh! You didn't see. You didn't see. You didn't see what I did. Has he shared the pictures I sent to him on WhatsApp?
No.
Well, I got Photoshop. Photoshop. And I'm quite good on it. It says something
I
about
use
dickhead.
what's the one I got called? Paint 3D, where I can make masks and stuff like that. That's as far as I go, and I just use that for making me thumbnails and.
I'm not going to say it now because he might get, if he is watching, he might get all shit. But I put a pair of pig's bollocks perfectly morphed into his chin and hanging there like. And then I morphed a penis on top of his head with a little bit.
That's a character from Men in Black, isn't it? The Bullchinians.
And then he just bought a car lately, didn't he? He just bought that car, yeah? As he said,
Yeah.
you picked up his new car. I put fake taxi on it. Then I sent him another one with bang bus on it. All like smoothed in. I spent fucking hours on it. Honestly, I really did. Too much time, man.
You boy, you cheeky cunt.
It's got a bit quiet since then for some unknown reason.
Boyle's just said it's like Last of the Summer Wine. Boyle's just said it's like watching Last of the Summer Wine. I'd say 4 Yorkshiremen, but I'm the only Yorkshireman here, and I claim precedence and superiority. So
hey, listen, we're all English. That's the thing that counts most.
What did Moo just log into?
It's all right.
Boyley, I haven't seen him for a while either. Blimey.
He's usually in the background watching, and Stitch is in there as well. She normally does it. But that's what I said earlier. I've got people that sit in the background because they just like to listen. And I know they're not there for anything nasty. And yeah, fine. I don't mind that. But yeah, it's a public live stream, so we know there's others in there for other reasons. And that's why I don't bother giving out names and shit, you know.
After all this time.
Yeah, they'll just go off and he said this over there, and you remember what we used to get originally when we first fired up. It was a pain in the ass, you know.
Well, I do come out here sometimes, Roger. I sit here and like I said, YouTube's just fucking about with me. And I like earlier on today, but just by luck, it said about your stream. Even though I subscribe and I've got a bell on it, and I'm a fucking moderator.
Yeah, you won't get alerts.
No, you don't. And then, you know, there's been certain people from back in the day. I thought, I've not seen them for a long time. Click on it. It's all on the channel. I thought, what? Yeah, like next one.
Well, I literally had to. I've forgotten what I was going to fucking say now.
I was talking about I clicked on some channels and it's still all the fucking same.
Oh yeah, alerts.
Yeah.
When I post a video now, I have to go back and regularly check on the comments. I don't get any alerts for any comments on my channel. I haven't done it for a couple of years. Yeah, I just I'll get them on my laptop.
Yeah, I think it's down to the email. I think.
I've set up the alerts on here on my desktop exactly the same as my laptop.
Really?
But my laptop will get alerts for comments, but this computer won't.
It's weird, isn't it? It's fucking weird.
One of the biggest red pills that I ever got, because I'm only a moderator in 2 streams, and one of them I thought it was a normie stream. Well, it turns out it's not. But when you actually see the comments, we help scroll past that are held for review. And a lot of the language in there, I don't think is too controversial. And you've got like allow. Now, it's quite obvious to me that there are some people in some streams who have been allowed a degree of control with regards to moderation. And you can be typing stuff away for ages and ages and you don't get a response because there are some people there with very, very large egos.
I went into the Help for Review box last week. There was
Boring.
3 in there that all the comment was thumbs up, Roger, and an emoji of a thumb. Now, you tell me why that was held for review. You know, I could understand it with some of the there are words that it will hold up and you can approve them. But I've actually had stuff in there, just sensible comment, but it will not let me approve it to go up on the channel.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to the channel to a video, say 2 days ago, and then all of a sudden that comment's there. I mean,
Yeah.
before I shut down at night, I go back and look at the comments on the videos. Now, I'll quite often find comments on there that were put on there 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, but they hold them back and won't put them up on the channel.
Mm.
But anyway, guys, I'm going to call that it.
Thank you.
That is 10.
No, I'm saying thank you because I've run out of veils and everything else. And
You poor wretch. You've run out of ales. I've got about 200 down.
Oh,
this is tickling my fancies. It's a fire one.
the
It's
hot
nice. And Roger,
Yeah, I'm going to have that because, to be honest, during the week, I'm normally in bed by 9:30.
why not? It's summertime. Get up in the morning. The day
And
starts
it
when the sun arises.
It gives poor Heather a bit of breathing space down here without me going on all the time.
Roger and Heather, thank you very much for letting me up on here tonight.
Hey,
I'm
not a
sorry I
problem,
haven't been
mate.
around
Not
for a
a
while.
problem.
I've
Yeah,
really enjoyed tonight. I've really enjoyed it. And Lothar, good to see you as well.
Yeah,
My beard
right.
buddy.
It wouldn't be a Loafer stream if I didn't have to proselytize and push something, not for my financial I do for a game. But I bought this last week.
Oh my God, Motorhead! Oh, see, that's
1916. It's an absolute Roger. It's an absolute banger of album. Only £3.5 off eBay. Second hand, obviously. It's an absolute banger. There's not a bad song on it. What have we got here?
They're good. They're good. They're good.
It's brilliant. They got the RAMONES Ramones. I ain't no. I'm so bad, baby. I don't care. At the last song, fucking hell. If you don't watch Sabaton's version of 1916 and read the end notes, you've not got fucking soul. It's absolutely fucking soul destroying. Now, there we go. Read his autobiography. That's a good read. And also, it references this one, Covenant with Death by a bloke called John Harris. It's about a Sheffield Pals regiment that was formed in 1916.
I
And
don't do a lot of reading now.
The Battle of the Somme. And apparently, for the 24 hours from the commencement of the battle to the end of the battle, somebody was killed every 4.4 seconds on the Battle of the Somme.
Yep.
And it said whole generations of PAL volunteers from northern Lancashire, towns like Accrington and Sheffield, an entire generation of men were wiped out in a single day. And these all evil globalist demons like Sunak and Johnson want our kids to go and fight for a foreign war. I tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yes, yes.
Fuck themselves.
People in the chat, thank you ever so much for the support as usual of dropping in. Don't forget Friday night, 7 o'clock, Mrs. W will be live. I don't know whether Jen will be able to get on the panel this week if her thing's playing up, but I dare say Holly will. But have a good rest of the week, what's left of it. I won't be putting a video out tomorrow, simply because everything I would have covered tomorrow, I've covered earlier on in the live stream tonight. So I'm going to try and have a bit of a restful day tomorrow. Whether it will work out that way is anybody's guess. But that's
good luck.
But thank you all for coming in. Look after yourselves. And as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free. See you later, guys.
Sheffield, take care, guys, and everyone else in the chat. I've had a blast.